good morning. KTC Broadcasting here, Saturday morning sports talk. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, JP. Can you hear us in there?
Yeah, well, I can't hear you on my headphones, I don't think.
Well, then you don't hear us at all in there, JP.
Oh, no, yeah, I got you.
You got us now?
Yeah, I got you.
Us now?
Yeah,
all
I
right,
got
good
you.
morning,
Are you
everybody.
good?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Good
Tom.
Good morning, guys.
Captain Coffee. That's a good name. I'm starting. He said I was un-American because I was not a coffee drinker. Hunter, you?
No, I'm not a coffee drinker.
Neither am I,
I
so.
feel sorry for Tom. He has to bring his own coffee
So
in
there's
the
only
morning.
one American on this show apparently, and he's the one in the Cleveland
Not
Browns.
not only are you not Americans,
Cleveland
you're
Browns.
not true Southerners either. Because a true
Well.
Southern man likes his coffee strong in the morning with lots of sugar in it, kind of like sweet tea.
Yeah.
Can't
I was
believe
gonna
you
say I
guys.
drink sweet tea,
I was gonna say
but
a lot of
Amen to that.
a lot of Southerners have switched to the tea for their sweet tea to jack them up in the morning.
Sun
Tom.
drop.
Yeah, that
Sun drop.
too. Good morning, everybody. Our first Saturday after our first Friday, so happy first Friday, Saturday, however that goes. Everyone's dragging a little bottom here this morning, I guess, a little bit after the first. This is usually the slowest Saturday for us getting in here, Terry. And I got up on time, laid the couch, started reading my phone. Next thing I know, JP's texting me telling me he's going to be late. And I'm like, well, if I don't get up, I'm going to be late. Because I fell asleep a little bit too there, JP. So anyway, we're here. We've got high school football scores. Folks, if you're watching online, want to point to our scoreboard. Let's see. On my camera, I guess I can point to the left, and everybody will still see the scoreboard.
Yeah.
If you're watching online, you can see we got a group shot here, everybody, hey, and then we got our own shots. We got our scores to the right there. We got a lot of postponements, some cancellations, and all kinds of scores and fun things to talk about on our first Friday night of football here in 2019. Of course, we got NBA, NFL, NCAA football.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited.
I got into an argument with Trent Marty. I was like, no, that Florida-Miami game's not till next week. Said, nope, it's tonight.
Tonight.
And I looked in my newspaper, which told me it was tonight, Kevin.
You're so
I have two copies. I have two newspapers here. This is the way we used to retweet, Kevin. This is how we retweeted.
Tom's the last person to not look at his news on his phone, but we're the un-American ones. But yeah.
That's right. You are un-American. It's right. You are.
We got NASCAR and more to talk about, and we're going to get into all that. But first, let's talk about some high school scores. Then we're going to talk about our postponements. Hunter's got a lot to talk about here in a minute, actually, between Lincoln and North Lincoln and more. So let's do the scores, Terry and Tom, and then I want to start off with Hunter talking about that Lincoln game real quick, get a quick synopsis on that one about what's going on, keep you guys a heads up, and also the North Lincoln game. So Terry and Tom, however y'all want to set that up, go ahead.
I'll tell you what, Tom, I'm going to start on the far end and come this way.
Okay.
All right, it was Pine Lake Prep,
Squeaking by the Quality Education.
Quality Education Academy
Wait a minute.
Fighting.
Tom, can you guess their nickname?
The Pocket Protectors.
No, Hunter, do you know? He
Is
gave
it-
you one,
is it-
but
okay, so it's
something.
fighting.
Fighting
If
something.
it's the fighting calculators, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's close.
No, it ain't close.
Oh.
Close, but no.
No, JP. Be quiet.
The Fighting Slide Rules.
No,
It's not. It's
the Fighting Pharaohs.
Pharaohs.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're
Not
both-
Mia Pharaohs, but the
Their colors are
Egyptian
purple,
pharaohs.
gold, and white.
Would this be a charter school?
It's out of Winston-Salem.
Yeah, sounds like a charter school.
But anyway, final score last night was Pine Lake Prep 46, Quality Education Academy 0. It was South Caldwell defeating West Caldwell 60-7. This is going to be talk to a lot of people about West Caldwell, and they are not that good.
Didn't South Caldwell win one game last year, Terry?
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
And then
so-
made the playoffs.
Yeah, so they've got their. Looks like they're off to a good start this year.
Yes. It was Alexander Central knocking off High Brighton 28-19. High Brighton has lost a lot of guys from last year, but they did not win last night 28-19. And Dutch Fork and Mallard Creek, the battle of North and South, finished in a 27-27 tie. That's Tommy Knox. This is a big step up for Mallard Creek to play them to a tie. To me, I think so. Mallard Creek is pretty good. Dutch Fork is also. Dutch Fork's won 23 in a row.
Terry, just explain to me and everybody else. I would assume that weather suspended the game and they just didn't finish it.
It did. They had 3 or 4 lightning delays in that game, so they finally just called it a tie.
There's no ties in high school football anymore, but there's a tie. So
yes.
that's weird. Okay.
All righty, Tom.
All right, so the 7:30 p.m. games last night, it was Chase over Bessemer City as they get their season off to a good start over Kevin's Yellow Jackets, 28-10. Bandies over St. Stephen's, 36-15. Newton Conover didn't look really, really good against Kings Mountain in the Jamboree, but Hunter, I don't think anybody's going to look very good against Kings Mountain
That's
this
what
year.
I was about to say.
44-14, big winners over Bunker Hill. Northwest Cabarrus over Forest View, 41-3. Green Hope and Ashbrook, they just said the heck with it. They didn't play, and they canceled their game. So no game between Ashbrook and Green Hope. I guess Ashbrook will pick up their season next week. And a defensive struggle. It's West Henderson over East Rutherford, 56-42. That sounds like it was an entertaining ball game. Providence Day over Mountain Island Charter. And, Terry, Mountain Island Charter ranked number 1 in the 1A poll I saw.
I'm going to tell you what. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what Providence Day has.
Huss was 3A.
Yeah. But
yeah, I know.
When you get beat 17-0, that's. I mean, can Providence Day be that good?
You know, it's
they
just
have
hard
a lot
to
of
tell.
talent on that mountain.
What A is Providence Day?
I don't know. Probably one, or they might play with the private schools.
Yeah.
So Tom, let me show you how little people pay attention. JP just got a phone call just now. What are we doing right now?
Going over the scores.
On the radio,
right,
and online,
right,
and online they have them posted,
right,
on the screen, and on Twitter we post all the scores. Someone just called JP and said, "Hey, give me the Shelby and Crest scores."
And I'm not just
this exact second that we were talking about the.
We're getting there. I'll go ahead and tell them. You know, it was Crest over South Point, 13-7.
Folks. We're getting there.
Yeah, and it was Shelby over Freedom, 41-13. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Well, let us get through the appetizer first, and we'll get to the main course.
Yeah.
West Lincoln Terry's West Lincoln Rebels. They just rolled drone, 52-13. Maiden over Ford. That would be Hunter's Maiden Blue Devils, 48-24.
No.
North Gaston over East Gaston, 21-14. And it was RS Central over McDowell, a much bigger school than RS Central, 20-12.
Now, they're in the 3A, 4A conference. I thought I looked up online, Terry. They're 3A, right? McDowell.
McDowell's 4A.
They are in the 4A. They're in the split.
That's the only school in McDowell County, and they have a very nice facility, turfed field up there that they've got now. I know that because they actually let their soccer players get on the field, which surprised me. But I thought they would prevail over RS Central, but it wasn't to be. RS Central beats them 20-12. At 7 p.m. games had East Burke over Highland Tech, 41-6. The Community School of Davidson and North Moore postponed. We don't know when they're going to play. South Lake Christian, Lake Norman Charter postponed. We do not know when they're going to play. North Buncombe over Patton, 62-20. And that's it for that board. And then I'll go ahead and finish up. Terry's looking at his notes over there, so I didn't know whether you're going to pick back up, Terry. Go ahead, pick back up, Terry.
All right. So you doing the 7 p.m. games?
Mm-hmm.
It was East Burke over Highland Tech, 41-6. I did take Highland Tech because I thought maybe so, but it didn't happen. Yeah. Community School of Davidson, North Moore was been postponed. I have no rescheduled date for that one. Or South Lake Christian and Lake Norman Charter, no date for that one. North Buncombe had no trouble with Patton, 62-20.
All right, and to finish it up, Lincoln and Stuart Kramer tied at 7 in the third quarter. The game will resume Monday at 6 p.m. Crest over South Point, 13-7. As Kevin said, it was the battle of the fullback dive. He'll tell us more about that. Kings Mountain over Burns, 34-6. And arguably, Hunter, you watched that game. We'll talk about. Probably wasn't even that close. Cool. I mean, it was it was a dominant performance.
I'll give Burns credit for getting 6.
And Burns defensively didn't play that bad. They had some negative plays, but in it, what I kept saying, is you got to string 3 or 4 good defensive plays together.
Yeah.
And if they would get a negative play, Kings Mountain, they weren't bothered by it. Hey, get Pace Hour out in the flat, and he got 20 yards on a screen pass. So just really no contest as Kings Mountain's really good this year. 34-6. Shelby over Freedom. No big surprise there. 41-13. Cherryville over Christ the King. 43-20. And North Lincoln and Parkwood are going to play tonight at 6 p.m. A little Saturday night football action coming at you. I guess Lincoln County must have took the worst of the storms because a lot of the Lincoln County looks like they were postponed or delayed. So that's your high school football roundup. So if you missed the score and you're just tuning in, we've got the scores on Twitter. Or where else we have the scores, Kevin? Twitter.
They're on YouTube right
And they're on YouTube if you want to. And ktcbroadcasting.com. Check the scores, and Terry will make sure that all those scores are updated as soon as possible when those games are completed.
Terry, I can't leave you as the butt of the joke right there. Well, the reason I was laughing, I don't think Tom was going to say anything.
I wasn't.
You weren't going to say anything, but Terry,
we had a retweet of the 7 p.m. score.
you retweeted what Tom had said about the 7 p.m. scores. He asked you to do the next
Well, I
board.
asked him, was that next, and he said yes. Yeah.
Terry's that kid in class where you just
That's
answer
the
number
middle of a
6.
conversation.
You answer number 6, and then you say Terry number 7, and he answers number 6 again, and the teacher just goes ballistic. That would be Terry in class.
So that's really funny right there. But I agree a lot with what Tom said, obviously, because I was listening to you call the game, and you had the first that you got, right there, an eye look at Kings Mountain, who I had got to see even just in the Jamboree against Newton Conover. And Kings Mountain doesn't look like they've lost a step.
But, Hunter, they're good up front.
Yes.
You tend to focus, okay, there's Pace Hour making another 30, 40-yard reception.
They got the running backs.
And we're real sorry. I think it was Marquise Adams, number 27, the backup running back, who was listed as number 1, wearing 27. I mean, the entire upper echelon of Kings Mountain community was in the box next to us, and we couldn't figure out who number 27 was. Finally, Marquise Adams looked very good in replace of Raquelin Mack. They're going to get Mack back, Hunter.
I know.
He didn't even play.
And see, that's one of the things that I saw was like a 1-2 punch for them if they don't always want to go to pace hours. Raquelin Mack's more of like the bowling ball running through everybody, and then Adams has just got speed. He's fast, man.
Yeah.
How many yards did Pryor have?
We switched to huddle this year, and usually we used to have the pencil and paper stats. I was telling Calvin this morning. Our pencil paper crew is gone, so they've been replaced, and it's kind of fallen on Trent to try to figure out and get the stats in. Long story short, we didn't get them in. I had some notes in my notebook, and I didn't add them up. I should have brought them in, but maybe 15 yards. I mean, he was just
Oh, man.
Yeah, he just did not have a very good game. Now, Landon Hoyle, one of our starting offensive linemen, arguably, our best or, right there amongst our best linemen, did not play, high ankle sprain. And that throws everything off. Terry,
yes,
you've been
it
around
does.
football. You take a guy out, and you're not even talking about skill and ability. You're talking about timing and communication and other things. And when you have a guy go down, that's going to hurt. What made the difference last night? I mean, but still.
Let me ask you this now, and I'm just going to go back. Last year, Kings Mountain had no trouble with them last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, as a Burns fan, I'm just going to kind of sit back and go, okay, maybe this is just a team that we do not match up with.
Not right now. I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
Not right now. And what people forget too, Kings Mountain's got about 1,270 kids. Burns got about 920. And people don't understand. Okay, well, it's a county rivalry. That doesn't matter. Yeah, it does. If you look at this roster, they've got 45, 46 players. Your roster's got 32, 33 players. That makes a difference. And it's just, the numbers could change. I remember, Terry, when I first came to Burns in the late 90s, we were pushing 1,300 kids.
Yeah.
Not the case anymore. And it is what it is. You get, and people could say this or that and want to question what the Burns coaches did or whatnot. The fact is, Kings Mountain, offensively, defensively, special teams, was just better than Burns last night. And they showed it on the field.
Yeah.
They had a good game.
Yeah.
And I will give Greg Lloyd, who's a friend of mine and a graduate, is and I don't think people give him enough credit. He's a really, really good coach, and especially a really good offensive coach. But the defensive side of the ball, those coaches had the game plan. They took away every time Burns had a guy, like you saw, running down the seam or try to get deep. They had it covered every time. No blown coverages. No, it didn't look like anybody missed any responsibilities. They just have a very good set of athletes, and they have a very good coaching staff over there at Kings Mountain. So you just have to give them credit. And hopefully, myself, as I love Burns. I've been there forever, but I have to be man enough to say right now, they're just better than us, Terry.
Yeah, and that's the reason I said I take that game and for Burns, and we knew at the start of the year. I even said y'all would come out. We talked about it yesterday on the pregame. We said all 2-2. I mean, that's how we took Burns. I mean, yeah, you're going to beat Newton Conover. You should.
Yeah.
And then there was somebody else on their thing that we
I think Asheville.
Yeah, Asheville. There was 2 teams that we thought that y'all could beat, and then the other 2 was like Crest. Maybe you're going to match up a little bit better against Crest. I just think Kings Mountain was like more of a dominant team that took care of you last year. And you know how it is when you face certain teams, no matter what you do, there's nothing you can do. It's almost like West Lincoln and Bandies. I don't care whether we've got the best team in the world. When we face Bandies, we cannot beat them.
Right.
It does not matter. And I just think that's what last night was. I mean, I would never take that as a grain, I'm going to fall over. But I know how Cleveland County does. I mean, it's a matchup between the 2 foes up here, and we got to figure that we are better than them.
Rumor had it, and I don't want to say ironclad, but to kind of put a little mask on this. When you're trying to get people to come to Cleveland County and play in Jamborees and play non-conference games, well, they don't want to play Kings Mountain.
Yeah.
They don't play Shelby. We can't avoid that. We've got to play them. And I would much rather see like a Burns-West Lincoln matchup, because I think it would be more even or something like that. But that's just not the way it works out. We got to play the other county teams.
And this was also a year that I saw scrimmages where, and I'm not naming teams or places or whoever, that other coaches would call the other school that they're getting ready to go and do a scrimmage with and tell them they do not want to come.
I mean, it's
because y'all are so much better than us. I really don't
scrimmage.
want to put my guys through that. And
Well,
the coaches are like, "Well, we've got you down. I mean, we'd like for you to come. I'll switch out my starters early."
Without naming names, if you're a school and you got about 1,600 kids and you're afraid to play a school with 900 kids, come on. Come on. But it is what it is, and I think what that's got to do with, Terry, is these coaches feel so much pressure if they don't win. People abandoning support for the program, taking their kids somewhere else. I'm going to pull my kids out and take them to the charter school. I'm going to take them out and take them to this other district. There is way too much pressure on these coaches to win, and not enough emphasis on building young men and character development.
Well, and I'll say this, though, for Burns fans, Tom, yourself, everybody that watched last night, I want you to think about this. You don't need to hang your head on this game.
No.
Because you're playing against possibly a team that's going to compete for the state championship. At 3A, you're down in 2A, so you don't have to see them again. You could think of this as like a wake-up game, sort of, to see what you have playing against higher competition. We talked about this a little bit last night on the pregame show, how we think Newton Conover was going to benefit from playing against Kings Mountain in the Jamboree. They played against higher competition. They played I know that they were scoreless, but they got to see what higher competition looked like, and I think it really, really helped them put up 44 on Bunker Hill. So if I was Burns, the season is far from over. I know it was week 1. No reason to get all – I know it's a in-county rivalry, but still – Kings Mountain is just, you just got to face the fact that's a state. That would be like playing Shelby, okay?
Yeah.
They are known to possibly go as far into the state tournament as anybody else on the western part of North Carolina.
And the Pace Hour kid is phenomenal.
He's phenomenal.
I mean,
he is phenomenal.
He's out there playing defense, too. And I told Matt, I said, well, when I played high school football 100 years ago, there was a guy named number 12 that reminded me of him. His name was Leon Johnson. Ended up playing at Carolina. And he never came off the field, Terry. He was a safety on defense. He was a running back, wide receiver. He kicked off. He kicked return. He punted. He was the punter for the team. He did everything. He never
And I
came off the
noticed
field.
last night too, as skilled as Kobe Paysauer is, they didn't try and force the ball to him. They never tried.
They don't have to.
That's what
They
I'm
don't-
saying.
they don't have to.
They don't have to because
Yeah.
I saw they had other receivers, skill receivers. They're just as. I mean, obviously they're not on his level, but they're good enough to. There was one of them they had that they hit him
Ussery,
deep.
Ussery and Davidson.
I think
No,
Davidson was the one that they
Right,
hit
number
deep.
3. I want to
Yes.
say number 2 was Ussery, and number 3 was Davidson.
Yes.
Ussery had an interception. Davidson had a 65-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, so you get caught up in the Paysauer, but
That team's
don't
just balanced.
don't forget about Davidson. Don't forget
Oh, yeah.
about Ussery. Don't forget about Adams. Don't forget about Rakalen Mack. I mean, boom, boom, boom.
And it
I mean,
helps
they
that
just
Ethan
gotta-
Reed can throw a
and
pretty
the Reed,
football.
and a guy we haven't mentioned, Reed, who is, I'll say some things about him. Number one, he's very poised. Okay, he doesn't get nervous. He doesn't get happy feet. 2, he throws a very good deep ball. 3, he can move. Now, people want to say, well, he's not, as mobile as some others. But I'm telling you, when he has to move, he can. Short yardage situations, he's a big kid. He can push the pile. I mean, there's a lot of things that Reed gives you, and he's a gift. Transfer it in. I mean, he's a gift. So Greg Lloyd and his guys have got something good going this year, and I think they're going to go a long way.
Well, speaking of that, I got a interview with Greg that we talked about the other day. I may play next week when I get it cut up pretty good, so it sounds great. It's just talk about the season. Tom, you're right, and I was actually about to mention that before it was time for a break, but about Ethan Reed is that he's a big kid, and they a lot of times the short yardage they were just going to him.
Why not?
And just pounding it in there.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because
If-
you don't have the fumble on the exchange and some other
if
things.
you're a
like that.
defense and you're worried about the running backs,
Mhm.
and then you're worried about Kobe, and then you're worried about Ussery, and then you got this 6'3" quarterback doing Tebow ball up the middle, they're extremely hard. He's 6'4", 220. Extremely hard to deal with. And also, Ethan Reed and Kobe are just juniors. So they'll be back. They got they got 2 years to work with each other. He looks like a quarterback. Like I said, if you drew a picture of him of a quarterback, he would look a lot like Ethan Reed. Just big, tall kid, and Tom's right. They were using him in short yardage situations when they don't even need it really. But I did see Rakalen there on the sidelines. He may not play next week. Looking like week 3 is what I've been told. But we'll see. Waiting to get cleared on everything and health wise. But I think he'll be okay once they get him back. I mean, before the season started, Tom, I, as far as Kings Mountain is concerned, I was like, their offense has to protect the quarterback so they don't turn it over, and then their defense just doesn't have to give up 30, and they're going to be okay. And that's been the things the past few years is injuries and the defense. Like I expected them to put up 34 last night. I didn't expect them to hold you guys to 6.
I thought it would
I
be
did
more
not
like a
see that.
40-20 game. That's what I thought. Maybe
40s and
something,
20s,
something
30s,
like
yeah.
40s to the 20s, something like
But
that.
they smothered you guys. They smothered Pryor in the defense. They did a great job.
Up
Outstanding.
front.
They did
Up
that to
front,
Lincoln
yeah.
too. So I saw them blowing them off the ball. Oh no, Newton Connor up the middle. Newton Connor had some good hard runs, but they couldn't do nothing with them. Their quarterback's pretty good too. They're going to compete in the Southward. All right, let's take a break, JP. When we come back, we're going to talk some more of the games. I've got the updated to now power poll. We didn't get into it last night. Didn't have time at all, really. But I've got it. We've got a surprise number 1 and more to talk about in just a few minutes. We'll be right back, JP, on ktcbroadcasting.com.
Join the boss as we broadcast live during Beach Blast 2019 in Centennial Park in downtown Kings Mountain this Saturday, August 24th, starting at 10 a.m. Come by our booth and register to win some great prizes. Our live radio remote broadcast is being brought to you in part by West End Sales, your Coyote tractor dealer on Highway 18 North in Vale, by Gateway Nutrition on South Battleground Avenue in Kings Mountain, by Full Throttle Power Sports on Indian Walk off I-85 in Lowell, by Renato Kia on Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, by J&D Furniture on North Lafayette Street in Uptown Shelby, by Parker Farm Service, your Toro dealer on Bessie Drive off Highway 74 Bypass East in Kings Mountain, by Sism & Sons Paint and Body Shop on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, by Just In Time Plumbing in downtown Kings Mountain, and by West End Sales, your Big Dog Mower dealer on Highway 18 North in Vale, and by Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. Come see us this Saturday, August 24th for Beach Blast 2019.
How would you like to win a $500 shopping spree from one of our local area merchants? Sure you would, and you can. All you have to do is register at one of our participating sponsors, including Dallas Express Pharmacy on Hoffman Street in Dallas, Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain, Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Supply on the Reepsville Road in Lincoln, Full Throttle Power Sports on the Indian Walk at I-85 in Lowell, at Arnold's Jewelry South Washington Street in Shelby, Okies Tower West Warren Street in Shelby, and at Mitchem's Kitchen on Highway 27 West in Vail. The drawing will be held on Friday, August 30th. Register to win a $500 area merchant shopping spree. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper and KTC Broadcasting.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. We had to break a little short today because actually they were long. But y'all are on. You want me to put on Coach Pruitt?
Yeah, Coach Pruitt's on the line. Coach Tim Pruitt, Cherryville Ironman with a big win last night here on WCSL 1590 AM. You was out there, seems like forever last night. I mean, you should have come by after the game last night, Coach, and saw Terry and got some chicken and mashed potatoes from Sagebrush last night. But you guys with a big late win. Finished up 43-20 over Christ King to start the season. Cherryville Ironmen are 1-0. Coach Pruitt, what's up?
Hey, not much. How are you guys doing? It's good to be up this morning. Man, it feels like fall out here. I didn't look up. I was out in another world. But we did have a late night last night. Got the season started off with a win. That's always nice. And that was a conference game, so we're excited about having 3 non-conference opportunities in front of us to get ready for our next conference game, which will be, of course, Highland Tech here at home in about 4 weeks. So we're getting closer to that day. But go ahead. I'm trying to prepare myself for Chavis Middle School scrimmage right now. So I'm walking around the campus doing a few things. And that scrimmage should start about 9:15 if anybody's out there and wants to watch the Wolverines play WC Friday for a little while this morning. It's starting at 9:15. Hopefully go for about an hour and 15, hour and a half.
Coach, do you know when the Little Ironmen start up their football games?
They have their first game next week. I still have not seen the schedule on that. I know they're away.
Okay.
I think we have two home dates this year, and they're away. Supposed to have a scrimmage today at Mooresville, but they got their game moved to today, so that scrimmage is not happening today. So, but Little Ironman will begin their season next week, I guess, on the road.
Okay, well, good luck to the Little Ironman. I got my Little Ironman jersey up here behind Hunter's head if anybody's watching online on YouTube. Well, Coach, tell us a little bit about that big win last night. I know you guys ended up winning by 23 at home, a lot of points there in your first game. And that is a conference game, right?
Yeah, it was a conference game. Christ the King is a parochial school out of Charlotte. I guess the only other parochial high school in Charlotte, a true parochial high school for the Catholic Church is Charlotte Catholic. So obviously when they come rolling up on the Mecklenburg Catholic Schools bus, that's something that you don't see every day. They had a small number. They played really hard. We did not see them on film from a scrimmage standpoint. They did not scrimmage. And Coach Brian Rhodes is their head coach. He was a player at Independence High School and played college football. He's done a really good job with those kids. So I give him a lot of props for what he's done with that program this year. Last year they were not successful from the standpoint of winning a football game, a new school playing varsity for the first year. So I thought their kids really competed. But I think our kids did some things very well. But as is always, the first game, we got a lot of things to improve on. We have to improve our depth. And, of course, we had the injury bug a little bit last night, and hopefully those kids are going to be better from it. And in terms of the team, we were more of a running than passing team last night. Looked a lot like last year from that standpoint, but in a little bit different way. Jaden Blanton rushed for Adam unofficially for about 180 yards on 22 carries and 4 touchdowns. We got to do a better job of getting our passing game going. We had a couple drops. We had a couple misreads, but Dylan was 2 of 10 for 25 yards. So that's something that we definitely got to brush up, particularly going on into the next few games against teams who are going to be probably a little bit bigger physically than us and stronger and faster in Chase and West Lincoln.
Well, West Lincoln looked pretty good last night. They're big winners over Drone, 52-13. and then who else do you have to play coming up?
Chase, I think beat Bessemer City 20-10 last night. I got to catch a few minutes of that before I fell asleep. I think I started nodding off a little bit. I don't know, between 3:30 and 4 o'clock, whatever time that was. But with that said, I watched a little bit of that film. But it was nice to go ahead and get that traded and have a game film from Coach Radford up there at Chase. So I think their program's heading in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people at home probably think you're done on Friday night. You just take a couple of days off, and then you just come back to work on Monday. Tell us a little bit what your weekend's going to be like, Coach, so the fans out there know what you guys really do on the weekends.
Well, I mean, if I can get a vacuum working here in a little bit, I got a lot of grass in the lot. Yeah. But you know, it's the same. Each weekend's the same. So for the next 12 weeks, hopefully 13, 14 weeks, 15 weeks, your schedule don't change a whole lot. I mean, Saturdays are built around getting, my jerseys are already washed. I just got to put them in storage here and take care of a few things. Today's a unique day. We're having a scrimmage here right after a game. So hopefully a lot of our staff is involved in working with our middle school this year. And we got 36 kids out for middle school football. So we're excited about this group and what they can do in the future at Cherryville High School. But today is a special day. Today's my son's birthday. He's always born around the first game. He was born the Sunday after my first game at Watauga High School when I was up there. And my daughter's birthday's on November 6th, so her birthday's always around the last game. So that's a unique thing to have. But today we'll be just getting ready for a little bit for an opponent, but also doing some things, getting ready to teach a Sunday school lesson, getting ready to do children's church tomorrow, getting ready for a coaches meeting in the morning at 6:30, and then get ready for film and practice on the first day of school on Monday. So with everything that goes on with getting our first game, a home game kicked off, y'all need water, you need ice, go down here. The thing that I need to do is get ready for my first day of class as well. So it's going to be a busy weekend, lots of things to do, but I wouldn't have it any other way, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize all the little things that Coach is talking about, your uniforms, the keeping up with the field, all the things that you have to do that people don't know what they do. I do like the fact that in Cherryville, the high school program is working with the middle school program, yes, and they are communicating and they're trying to do some of the same things. And I'm sure Coach Pruitt will elaborate on, but you can't do exactly the same thing as you do in middle school as you do in high school. But you're going to put the building blocks in place, and then when they get to the high school, and that's how you build a program. When your players buy into the system and they know the system, and by the time they get to the high school level, they're familiar with it and they're not learning something brand new. I think that's something that's going to make Cherryville competitive on down the road.
Coach, I do want to wish you boy happy birthday and everything. And he's in here the other day, and he's pretty excited about football. And I'm excited about you guys. We finished off your donuts, no problem. Just want to let you know that. So we want to thank you for that, of course, when that happens. Next week you'll be at Chase, and after that, I'll be hosting West Lincoln, Coach. Keep calling us and letting us know what's going on in Cherryville football and middle school and Little Ironman and everything else.
I will. I'll keep doing that, and look forward to working with you guys and seeing you guys around through the season. You're always welcome. There won't be no donuts probably in the foreseeable future, but you never know. We'll see what happens. We got an open week, the 9th week of the season. I'll probably be looking forward to that about that time. So. We'll see how things go, but look forward to working with y'all this season. Thanks for all you do for high school athletics and your support for our kids.
Good luck against Chase.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go.
All right, that's Coach Tim Pruitt. Cherryville Ironman, they win last night 43-20 over new conference foe Christ the King, and they'll be at Chase next week with Milton Baker and Danny Aker. The Baker and Aker guys will be headed up to Chase. Chase won last night big. 28-10 over at Bessemer City, so that might give you a heads up. Those three teams are kind of usually in the same area, probably skill-wise and boat-wise. Real quick, talking numbers, you are what?
Oh, I was just going to give a little tidbit. Listener tweeted at me online saying, talking about Terry, you were kind of shocked about the the Mountain Island Charter game, and Providence State thought Mountain Island Charter would be really good. Tweeted and said he believes that the Mountain Island Charter quarterback got hurt last night during the game, so that might be one of the reasons that they lost that bad. But
I thought everything was going to go through
sure.
that running back. They had the really good running back.
Yeah,
and I can't remember his name offhand.
But want to also thank Steven for listening to the show and tweeting us.
Thanks for telling us that.
You can keep a running back swallowed up if you can key on him, though, too.
Yeah,
Tom,
I know.
Key one prior you could put him in a phone booth and not get a hand on him.
But they also have, I know one of the guys that he got is a wideout. He is one of the top notch. They say he could be Division I. So what did Providence Day do to stop all of them guys? Because offensive wise, Mountain Island Charter was supposed to be pretty decent.
I'll say this though: when you get a collection of kids that really didn't grow up playing together and come from different communities, I think there's a factor that works against you on a football team.
The Charter schools also have a serious depth problem.
Right.
So you lose one starter on the line, Terry. It's going to be they're not going to be able to replace them. Like, and you're talking numbers earlier, and what I was going to get to, we got a phone caller here right now. I know who it is. I think is it Philip? Philip's calling. Speaking of numbers, he went from 600 or so students, I guess at Bessemer, 700 students now to 2,600 student high school. So the depth.
Right.
Is totally different.
Well, they usually have a 9th grade team, a 10th grade team, and then a varsity.
He said,
team.
I think I heard he said he cut down from, they had to cut 30 kids from 70 to 40 or something. Like, all right, Philip, you on the line? Did JP turn you up? He's going to turn you up. There he is. Philip's got a meeting here in a minute, but Philip, former Bessemer City baseball coach, Burns High School player, coach over at West Lincoln a little bit. The area, just left. Welcome back and called. I'm glad you called back. You called yesterday on the pregame show. Had a big night here up here in North Carolina. I guess you maybe caught a little bit about that. You guys played Thursday night, right?
Yeah, we got to open up the season. We were fortunate. I guess you could say fortunate or unfortunate, however you want to look at it. Coach Sinafani is going to really like this. We're having a huge issue down here with football officials. They're lobbying and on strike for more pay.
Philip, baseball did that in South Carolina. Go ahead, yeah.
So basically what's happened is we've got a county that supports, an association that supports about 50 teams. And as of right now, they have about 8 crews that can work games that have lobbied or crossed over, per se, to officiate. So they've played games this week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, and they have games actually scheduled on Monday to try to get week 1 in for everybody.
Wow. So it don't matter where you go, Philip, it's a cluster, right?
I'm telling you, what it was is Texas, somehow the word got across to Florida what Texas and Georgia pay. Georgia just actually gave a big raise for their officials, and it kind of trended down, and these guys here just felt like, they do a good enough job to be able to receive the equal pay, per se. So they just decided to tell their associations that they're going to lobby and not work until the money matches up. And so that's kind of what we're facing. It really hand-ties us because, from what I've been told, is the county per county can pay. So if it was in Cleveland County may pay their officials their right money, but Gaston County may hold out, and if that's the case, they don't work Gaston County football games. So it's just real weird. So, like, some of the counties here are budgeting and paying, and some aren't.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, Philip. I'm guessing you are just thrilled to deal with that. I did have another question for you about that. Florida schools, that's what it was. I noticed while, been down to Florida the last couple years or whatever, I've noticed, flipping through the channels on TV, being, that we broadcast live on YouTube, guys, this is going to shock you guys here. The state of Florida has cable networks completely dedicated to high school sports, and they allow them to broadcast all the sports they want.
Wow.
You can go. You turn to channel 43. It's the Southern Florida Sports Network. You can turn to channel whatever.
You
it's
mean
the Northern Florida?
You mean
Sports
somebody's
Network.
not crying about hot dog sales?
Well, they're more. They got plenty of referees in North Carolina, Philip. I guess that's the problem. Is we got them all up here, and y'all don't have them down.
Well,
there.
I tell you, I think I know what the football officials make in North Carolina. I'm just telling you, I'm not so sure. I don't know how to get anybody to do
I
it.
was wondering that you bring that up, Tom. And Philip, which part of Florida exactly are you at now for the folks listening?
If you were the best way I can tell people in North Carolina, if you know that big hole of Lake Okeechobee, if you go to the east coast of Florida from Okeechobee to the right, I am in. I work in Port St. Lucie, with St. Lucie County. So I'm south of Daytona Beach and north of West Palm Beach.
Got you. Played Cherryville. Played on some Cherryville teams that went down to played in West Palm Beach. Got beaten a regional by Jim Riggleman's former Cubs coach. His son and Orlando Cepeda's son was on the teams that beat us. So they were a little bit better than us. They took care of us down there. But anyway. Philip, I just want you to thank you for calling. Call us anytime you want. Give us updates, especially during baseball season. We don't have so many calls during baseball season. Tell us about your team and what's going on. A little bit. What's the difference between coaching at and having 2,600 kids in the school?
D1 talent.
Yeah.
You may honestly, I will tell you, like the game pace is not what people think. Everybody's like, oh man, I bet it's so much faster there. Yeah, but the problem is you've got D1 talent. You're playing other 8A teams, and you pull from a larger pool. You've got that talent. You're facing off. Just, great example, we played against a team that, we're sitting there heavy defensive Division I talent, our linebackers. And we've got a linebacker that's ranked, fourth in the nation at his position. We got a defensive end that's in the top 8 in his position, and that's nationally ranked. But then you're facing off against a nationally ranked receiver going to Miami and another guy going to Northwestern. So every week you're playing that talent, so the speed kind of complements itself, and it makes the game look like it's the same speed. It's not where you go to a game, back home and there's a D1 guy, a running back, and then the other team's just your average football team, and it stands out like when Todd Gurley was at, Tarboro, and Lincoln took that touted team up there, and everybody around here thought, man, Lincoln's going to go up there and crush Tarboro. And then Coach Cloninger come back and was like, you know what, that kid at Tarboro, Gurley, probably the best running back I've ever seen in the state of North Carolina. Well, when you're in Florida, it's across the board. You're looking at it, and you're just like, okay, this is a stud, and this is a stud. We just need to put our stud somewhere near that to slow it down. And I think that's the biggest transition between that and then just the crowds and the way. To me, academically, I feel like North Carolina is way ahead of the bar than what it is down here in Florida, just because of the technology that's in the classroom, the resources that are available. That's the biggest difference I see in the classroom. But athletically, they do sports the right way here. I've never seen
Philip, they do have dads betting on Pop Warner games in Florida, so I think they take that a little more serious than they do the
Wait, they can't bet on Pop Warner?
You can. The coaches were fixing the games.
I saw that. I saw they did a story on that, yeah.
Philip, there's big money in Pop Warner football if you ever fail in high school.
Well, Coach,
that's it.
I want to ask you something. I mean, I know we're talking about this, and I'm going to throw something in there also. I know you got a game coming up against IMG. I mean, that's about what you got up here when you got a regular school playing a charter school or something like that. You pay to go there, and, when you have all of that linemen and you have to match up with them, your talent might not match up with them because all these guys paid to go to that place, and every one of them's looking at playing in the NFL.
Yeah, and I would tell you, like, Florida has what they call Policy 36 here. See, they don't have to answer to that at IMG, but Policy 36 is basically they are super, super strict with recruiting because kids here are allowed to transfer at will. As long as they can find a way to get in district, they can do that. So if you remember years ago when Charlotte had that big stink with Butler and Independence and everybody, and there was kids flipping and flopping the programs, as long as you're not called up as a coach and they can't tag you with, hey, you see so-and-so at Walmart, as long as the kid comes to the school and they can tag it for whatever reason, there's no special criteria. They could actually transfer public school to public school. And you know, me being down here just a couple months, I've already seen that happen in baseball. There's a one school's head coach decided to retire as soon as it happened. It was like the cockroaches left when the light was shown on them. Because I mean, you had Division I pitchers going to one school that was going to be loaded. You had other guys that could hit the ball going to another team, and you know, with that being said, I mean, it kind of evens it out a little bit, especially for instance in football with IMG. You know, you don't get to get. I can tell you that you don't get to play the IMG national team. There's no way to schedule them. They're pre-scheduled, predetermined. You might be able to play like IMG White or IMG Blue, but the national team has its national schedule. They may play St. Thomas Aquinas, De La Salle. You know, they may go up to Ohio and play some of those folks, but they're not going to play localized Florida teams. A lot of their games are out of state. I mean, they pay to go there, but they also have a good deal with Delta and American Airlines, and they load their team up in their gear and they go out and they play the national teams.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm asking, because I know a few years back, and I'm talking, I don't know, it's when Bias was at East Lincoln, they scheduled some team that come in there, and he was even after the game saying, you know, I'm not going to play that team again on account of these were playing like the Army-Navy guys, you know. I mean, they were very physical, very up front. I mean, you know, they pretty much manhandled East Lincoln. But when I think of things like that, sometimes, I mean, you can, and I don't know whether y'all have that down in Florida, which, again, like I said, you've only been there a few months, but I just hope that you don't have the same situation that can happen here by my team being just a mediocre team and playing somebody who can, you know, bring in whoever they want to play.
Well, and it's weird that you brought up money stuff. There is a monetary agreement if you play games like that, just like Duke going to play Alabama next week. You know, there's a financial kick, and you know, sometimes you tell the kids, hey, we're putting you out there to give you an opportunity to exploit your talent against. But in the same in the same token, your director and football coach is like, okay, well, we're paying for half the weight room here. We may take a lump, but we're going to see where our kids match up, and then we're going to take our check and smile as we drive back to the house.
High school sports, that's a shame if you want to hear it. From my personal opinion is on that, Philip. I mean, and then they'll preach to you, hey, Philip, how many pitches your pitcher got next game? Y'all got pitch counts down there? Like, they'll tell, let's talk about safety and health, but let's run out a team that's going to get stomped into the ground in football. Also, we can sell some hot dogs and put a few new weights in the room, and that's what they're doing. That's what we get all over the place, and that's just that's just, you know, I understand it. You got to have money to do stuff, but you know, the high school team doesn't need to be taking Delta flights. I would imagine they could find somebody to play, but I don't know. It's big money in it, and you know, it's trickling down into high school. College that amateurism has been gone, and you're talking about, you know, with the coaches and everything too. Them being able to leave and take whatever money they want. I'm not that big problem with the kids on that, because you know, you could be in a situation, especially at your school, Philip, 2,600 kids. There's not a lot of playing time, I would imagine, in not just football, in all the sports, I guess. But you got a meeting to go to, I guess. How's the weather down there?
I do.
How's the weather?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it is a nice, sunny, 100% humidity, and a sharp 89 degrees right now.
It's gonna it rains every day. It rains every day at 2:00 in Florida, doesn't it, Philip?
Every day at 2:00 it rains, so that's when we have our glorified study hall and weights and film, and then it dries up and we go outside, and I step outside and the sun starts melting me immediately.
All right, Coach. Well, have a good weekend. Have a good day. Call us next week.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you for what you do for the boys in North Carolina, and I will talk to you guys here soon.
All right,
Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Coach.
We our team that went down to Florida, we figured out the whole it rains at 2:00 day thing really quick. And up in North Carolina, it rains about 7:00 at game time every day. But down there, if you're going to Disney World, if you're going to Universal, this is how you do your schedule. We nailed it last time we went down. Go to our first thing to a park. Get ready to, have your fun. About 12:00, leave and eat lunch. Eat a cheap lunch outside the park. Go home, take a nap, relax, take showers, and then go back to the next park after 5:00 and get your food And you trust me, you'll miss all the storms, all the craziness, and you'll have a great Florida vacation.
I don't know if I can deal with when I was in when I
day.
was in New Orleans. It was like that. You woke up and it was already 85 degrees and 85% humidity, and it's like, I know it doesn't snow, and that's nice in the wintertime. Of course, it doesn't snow here either, but that kind of stuff, I don't know. That would just get old. Like at least here in North Carolina, like when you get up. Even in the dog days of summer, you can get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and get away from that heat.
Sure
You just can't do it down there, so it's just hot.
All right, JP, let's take a quick break. And we come back, we're going to do our brand new, I was going to say something fancy. The top 10's coming. That's all I got. We'll be back in a minute, ktcbroadcasting.com.
This summer, stay twice at Red Roof Inn and earn a $25 gift card with Ready Rewards. Yes, you can become a Ready Rewards member. Just register to be enrolled in the promotion through your Ready Rewards account under the promotion tab. And once you register, a guest who stays at any Red Roof Inn, Red Roof Plus, Red Collection, or Hometown Studios by Red Roof, 2 separate times from the beginning of June through the end of August will receive 6,500 points. That's enough for a $25 gift card. Offer valid June 1st through August 31st, 2019. Guests must be Ready Reward members and must be registered before checkout in order for the stay to count towards the promotion. Third-party bookings are not eligible. Must book at 1-800-RED-ROOF or www.redroof.com. Only stays occurring after the member's registration date in the Stay 2 promotion apply. So again, this summer stay twice at Red Roof Inn and earn a $25 gift card with Ready Rewards from Red Roof Inn.
3 wide, Eric Jones all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. In the middle, Clint Boyer.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
Jones has got absolutely no drafting help on the bottom.
With the playoffs just 4 races away.
Getting a very good run off the corner is Kyle Larson.
And on the bubble, it's every man for himself.
Clint Boyer, Eric Jones, Alex Bowman.
The Consumers Energy 400 at Michigan.
They're all going after it.
Sunday at 2 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Consumers Energy 400 this Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Golf Shop Radio, Wednesday mornings at 11 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Brought to you by Fred Caldwell Chevrolet in Clover, South Carolina. Coming soon, a new additional location of Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill. Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill will soon be opening a new additional location at 199 South New Hope Road, Gastonia, in the former Pizza Hut location. Soon, you'll be able to enjoy their award-winning wings, also their burgers with 100% Black Angus beef, all of your favorite sandwiches and salads, never-ending drink specials, and more. So be on the lookout for the new additional location of Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill, opening soon at 199 South New Hope Road in Gastonia. Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill, 201 West Pennsylvania Avenue, Bessemer City, open 7 days a week.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're about to, I believe, is it college football y'all about to talk about?
JP, quit guessing. It's the top 10. We're going to do that.
I don't know anything about football. I just work here.
What's up, Shopper?
That reminds me. That's kind of like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's why he's here.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, JP, we're going to do our power poll. If you're watching high school football, our power poll. And this is how it works. 1A victory is 1 point. 2A victory, 2. 3A victory, 3. 4A victory, 4. If you lose to a 4A school, you lose 0 points. If you lose to a 3A school, you lose 1 point. If you lose to a 2A school, 2 points. And if you lose to a 3A school, you lose 1 point. JP, can he hear me? Did he put his headbuds on?
Yeah,
he did. That little rascal. We gotta get that fixed. We're gonna jerk the earbuds out of his head. Anyway, JP, we've got the top 10 to go through, and so Terry, you getting ready? You excited?
I'm ready.
You ready? Now, last year, and folks, This isn't our opinion. This is only what you earn. So if you, like we said, you get 1 point for 1A victory, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. Early in the season, the teams are going to be a little bit mixed up based on who they play and where they're going. It's going to sound maybe a little weird. Folks, if one team is ranked above your favorite team, that does not mean that anyone at this table thinks that that team is better than that one. Please don't lose your mind and get your feelings hurt. All we're saying is what this poll does is a measurement of how well your season has gone
It
so
uses
far.
math.
It uses real math.
It uses real math.
Instead of just votes. Now, when we voted in the preseason, that Terry didn't make the vote, and he's already told me that we probably shouldn't vote, right? Because based on what some of the guys voted.
Well, there you go. Well, that's all I got to say.
Put it this way, 5 people picked the Panthers to win the Super Bowl in our votes. 5, not 1 or 2. 5, and granted, all of them were Panthers fans, and I
mean, you got to understand if you can or you cannot.
I know, right?
You know,
there's a difference between can do and will do.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a Cowboy fan, you know every year you can.
Oh my God!
We'll get into that later. All right. So we're going to go in the top. I'm going to give you about the top 12 or 8. I'm going to give you the top 18 because some of the teams didn't play. So a lot of teams got 0 points. Here's the teams with 0 points. Lake Norman Charter Community School of Davidson, Thomas Jefferson, East Lincoln, Ashbrook, Hunter Huss, Lincoln and Stuart Kramer are in a delay right now, and so is North Lincoln are in a delay right now. Right this second, we're in a delay. Now, if any of those teams win, which Kramer and or Lincoln will, one of those is going to jump up to 10. As soon as they win on Monday. So this poll it's flexible. It changes every day with these games scoring. So one of those is going to jump up to 10 by next Friday. North Lincoln, if they win, can jump up in the top 10. So we're going to keep an eye on that. So folks, here's the top 12. No, I gave you what? I gave you the teams that hadn't played, right? So the teams, yep, top 12. These teams all won. Okay. Number 12, the Pine Lake Prep Pride, 46-0 victory.
That's almost a tongue twister.
Over the Quality Education Academy. Tom, that'll get you a 12th ranked in our power poll. And if anybody's wondering, yes, Pine Lake Prep beat Quality Education. They are ranked 12th. South Point is currently ranked 23rd. So yes, in our power poll, Pine Lake Prep is 12. South Point is 23 right now. Terry, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Total sense, right?
It does.
So you gotta win. Gotta win. We tell the Crest boys all the time when Will and Dennis come in and say, "Why is they ranked ahead of Crest?" Well, maybe. Crest.
Listen, I quoted it last night. The standard is the standard. Okay, you gotta win.
That's right.
You gotta win.
I like that one. Let's see. Number 11 with a victory last night. We just talked to the coach over Christ the King. Cherryville Ironman, Terry. So Cherryville Ironman into 11. We're about to get some surprises here in this top 12. People are like, well, who's going to be number 1? Well, get ready, folks. Number 10, the Chase Trojans with the win over Bessemer City last night. They have 1 point. They held Bessemer City to 10 points. Coming in at number 9, the Maiden Blue Devils. Will Byrne and the gang. He was on the Wednesday show with who's number 9 again, Hunter? Did you see that? Well, it's okay. They're right behind number 8, Bandies.
There you go.
Coach Will Byrne was on the Wednesday talk show with Tim and Ken and Will Boykins the other day, and Coach Lubowitz of East Lincoln. They had a fun time, and Demery Brewer for First Federal Savings Bank. They had a good time the other day. It was fun listening to those guys on Wednesday. You guys got to check that out. The Bandies Trojans are number 8. They finished the season last year at 4. I think I was about to pull that up here. So I can look at my handy-dandy online paper, Tom.
Look how small the writing is.
You can.
This one's got big writing.
You can zoom in. I know you've got your glasses on. You put
Look,
your paper up
Tom,
to your face.
We have technology.
No, wait, when we come here, Kevin kind of hoards the technology at the table here.
Y'all
okay?
can bring your own laptops.
So we don't.
I brought my laptop.
I
brought
have
my computer.
a phone.
Where was I? Number 7. The North Gaston Wildcats get 2 points for their victory over the East Gaston Warriors. So North Gaston is number 7 now in our power poll. That gives us the top 6. These teams also have 2 points. The Newton Conover Red Devils get 2 points last night with a win over Bunker Hill Bears, 44-14. Newton Conover sits in the 6th spot. Now it's time for our top 5. Terry, get the belt out. It's almost time for the Rebels. Top 5. The West Lincoln Rebels are number 5 in the What's Up Shopper KTC Broadcasting Power Poll.
You know the worst thing about that is next week they are off, so we will fall because we do not play.
Hey, man, standard is the standard.
Is that the only bye you have, Terry?
Yes.
Standard is the standard.
Standard is the standard.
That's right. I'm with that.
Okay.
I wish the state of North Carolina would come in and do something about that. Nobody wants a bye the second week of the season. Nobody wants a bye.
How about East Lincoln and Huss bye in the first week, Tom?
Yeah, I know. It's just
they could have just played each other, right?
Yeah.
So you never know how they work out on those on the schedule. So
whatever happened to the Q Foundation, by the way? Remember we used to play them?
Are they I don't know if they're still.
I don't know if they're defunct or what happened.
Well, so since Huss didn't play, of course, they're still 0 points. They finished 3rd last year. Your Trojans last year finished the season, Hunter, at the 4th spot. North Lincoln finished. I gotta keep this thing keeps moving on me. North Lincoln finished at 5. Thomas Jefferson 6. Crest 7. South Point 8. East Rutherford 9, and East Lincoln 10 was the finish last year. But we're at number 4. The Shelby Golden Lions started the season at number 1, and they finished and you start the season where you finished last year. So Shelby wins over Freedom 41-13, Terry, and they lose 4 spots in the poll.
It's early. It's early.
Well, Crest fans, Dennis, get excited. Your Crest Chargers are ranked ahead of the Shelby Golden Lions right now, this second, with a 13-7 victory over South Point, holding South Point to 7 points. Gets you a little bit more points with the 2 points than Shelby did. Now, but that was squeaking by for the number 2 spot, which means Kings Mountain is the number 2 spot. They only gave up 6 to Burns, so that's what gives the tiebreaker to them. Kings Mountain, Crest, Shelby, West Lincoln, Newton Conover, North Gaston, Bandy's, and Maiden all have 2 points for their victories. The tiebreaker then goes to defensive points given up. So that's how they get ranked from there. So Kings Mountain 2, Crest 3, Shelby 4, West Lincoln 5, Newton Conover 6, North Gaston 7, Bandy's 8, Maiden 9, Chase 10. That will change maybe tonight with the North Lincoln victory. If North Lincoln loses, Chase will hold on to 10. But Monday, whoever wins the Kramer Storm Lincoln game will bump up into the top 10 and bump Chase out. That leaves us with the number 1 team after 1 week. And if they win next week, Terry, they'll definitely be 1 again. I've done the math already. The number 1 team in the What's Up Shopper Power Poll, they collected 4 Power Poll points last night with a big, big win for the school. It's in Rutherford County, folks. The number 1 team in What's Up Shoppers coming out of Rutherford County this week, and maybe next week if they win, at Patton. And Patton's already lost, Terry. How do you feel about that? You think they'll beat Patton?
I think they will.
So for 2 weeks, we may have the number 1 team in the What's Up Shopper Power Poll, the RS Central Hilltoppers, folks. RS Central Hilltoppers are your What's Up Shopper KTC Broadcasting number 1 team in the Power Poll.
Here's your flaw in your poll. You are basing the numbers on student population, not football population.
We just talked to Philip Ross about depth and student population.
Each school has a student population. They have a football population. Take Cherryville. Cherryville has a student population, but they have a baseball population, which is very high, which means Cherryville can go out there and beat Crest and beat a team that's got more students than them. So that's a major flaw in your poll there, Kevin.
Terry, you know what somebody who's 25th in the poll says things like that is what I hear, don't you, Terry?
Yeah. I just
Loser
think,
says what?
I just think
I'm gonna
that
sit here.
your data is, shall we say, flawed.
I'm gonna sit here.
Number 1 last year. Do you think the
Flawed.
Shelby Golden Lions was the best team last year?
In time, it will play itself out.
Do you think
It is.
Kings Mountain Mountaineers
But
are
see,
number
the
two?
problem with Kevin's poll is you're trying to do this in week one, and the same thing I talk about in college football. Don't have any polls. Don't rank any teams
All right, close your
until
eyes, Tom.
week 5.
Kings
I
Mountain,
agree.
Crest, Shelby,
Yeah.
West Lincoln. That's on opinions. This is facts. Kings Mountain, Crest, Shelby, West Lincoln, and Newton Conover, North Gaston, Bandy's, and Maiden. I'll beat 2A teams.
Well,
If I told you which is a better victory, a 2A victory or a 4A victory,
this is like arguing with your wife. I mean, it's just pointless.
which is
I mean, it's
I ain't
just
even going to 3A. I'm going to 4A.
it's just pointless.
How many students
Kevin
go to
Kevin
McDowell High
Hastings.
School?
Kevin Hastings,
Oh.
you're going to tell me you put Kings Mountain on the field with RS Central.
That's not what I
What
said.
you got? I got 42
Well,
to nothing.
See, Tom.
At halftime.
See, Tom, what you don't listen to
At
is
halftime.
this is what you've earned so far. I can't give you money you hadn't worked for yet. You know, you're gonna work. I know
right.
you're gonna make. You're gonna work. You're gonna sell some hot dogs in a little bit. But right now, you ain't sold any hot dogs. All you're doing is making them putting ketchup on it. So
I tell you.
I
tell you.
it's about earned, not opinion.
This
Again.
is- this
and this
is-
is what we argue with Will. We'll go, Crest will beat RS Central. You're
This
probably
is-
right,
this
but they
is
ain't
the-
done it yet.
This is the worst in the magic bullet theory. I mean, this is just crazy.
McDowell.
Over time, it's a good system. I will give you credit for that. Over time, but you should not rank anybody until week 5. Week 5, Kevin, should be your first What's Up Shopper power poll, not one game
ask you this,
sooner.
Tom. Why does it kill Cleveland County folks to give a little light to someone else before
I'm
week
not saying
5?
it's a good.
That's
it's a
what
good
it is.
win.
That's all it is. Because every time someone else that's not Cleveland County comes up there, we get calls.
You're
well,
talking
in
they-
week 5 we'll be better than
they
them.
beat McDowell County.
Who didn't beat McDowell last night? Kings Mountain, Crest, Shelby, West Lincoln, Newton Conover, North Cal. If you want to beat
I
them, Terry,
mean,
what do? You got to schedule them, right?
You beat
If
beat the Fighting Moonshiners.
If you want
Come on
to,
now.
If you want
Come
to
on.
be number 1, you got to play the tough schedule. You got to play a schedule. All right.
The standard is the standard.
Yeah.
The standard is the standard. I tell you what.
I
tell
think
you
I'm
what.
just gonna say that for everything.
Some of the politicians say fuzzy math. I'm telling you, this is some fuzzy.
Shout
But
out.
it's okay. But it's
Shout out
fine.
Mike
if it
Tomlin.
wasn't,
fine.
if it
It's
wasn't for
fine.
my poll, Tom, would Highland Tech or RS Central ever be ranked in the top 10?
Yeah, all the people living it and listening in Spindale right now are patting you on the back.
They are.
All I know right
The
now,
Hilltoppers. And they got a 2-game lead on everybody else right now for that 4A victory. That was worth 2 games, Tom. You could beat South Point twice and it not be
Terry,
as good as beating
Terry,
McDowell.
please help me on this.
well,
please.
the only thing I'm gonna
help me
say
on
right
this.
now, in all the barbershops around our area right now, they are going listening to us and going over our poll, and half the people in there going, "Well, I'm from RS Central, we'd beat y'all," and everybody else going, "Well, you shouldn't be number 1."
Yeah, that's right.
So how many students are at RS Central? Do you know?
Probably about like probably in around 900.
That's what I'd figure.
The school's built for like
Yeah.
1,800.
McDowell has 1,800 students. Twice
But
as many.
You don't listen. What
Twice.
is their football population?
Well, they need-
what is their football
What does
population?
that mean? Can they?
What does that mean? You know what it means.
I don't know
it's
what
the
that means.
kids that come up and play football, played Pee Wee football, played middle school, played Pop Warner. Shelby,
Listen, South
with
Point-
900 kids, has double the football
Listen,
population of
South
McDowell.
Point has been running the option since 1897. McDowell could easily watch one of the black and white films from South Point back then. Throw out. They only need 11.
They'd rather go
Got
deer
18
hunting.
they got
They'd rather go
1,800
fishing in
students.
McDowell
Listen,
County. They don't want to
Well,
play
let's
football.
do it like this. Let's just say RS Central, you
You're
are number one in our poll right now.
I give up.
And everybody up there
That's
has
what you
gone
have
out to buy a
That's all you
What's Up
have
shopper.
to say is the standard is the standard. As of right now, of this week,
Logic,
you are number 1.
Logic has lost. I will just
So-
concede defeat.
Well, okay, so
I
Tom,
will concede defeat.
You're a college football fan. This is
Yes.
kind of a good college football argument to make. Like, so this is saying, and this is for the small kids. So, and this is the argument for us non-Ohio State fans. NC State and Carolina fans have made the whole year. RS Central is Carolina in this poll. Kings Mountain Crest
No, they're not.
is Ohio
No.
State. No, North Carolina has to go undefeated to make a national championship game. Alabama, Ohio State, Crest, Kings Mountain
There
can all
is
lose
not.
2
They
games.
could.
There
They could
is
all-
not.
That's
No,
not
no,
the
no, no,
same
no.
thing.
Yeah.
There is not the talent difference between Carolina and Ohio State as there is between RS Central and Kings Mountain.
Oh, yes, there is.
No, it's not.
Tom,
No, it's not.
Tom, well, what's this?
Carolina
Is-
would
is-
give.
is
Carolina would give Ohio
is
State
Carolina
a decent
gonna
game.
beat
They would give them a decent game.
Appalachian State this year?
No.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to beat them.
Yes.
How bad?
Do you realize?
How bad?
Probably by 2 touchdowns at least.
Okay. How bad would Ohio State beat North Carolina this year?
Probably by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Only 2?
Yeah.
I think that Carolina's better than you think.
No. Back up. Carolina's not any good. I'm just letting everyone know.
I was about to say, people need to realize they
I'm a
voted.
Tar Heel fan. They're not going to be good.
They have not played up to their talent
They have voted
potential.
and they have predicted North Carolina to win 2 games this year.
That's it.
No,
2 games.
they'll win half their games. Carolina.
Now I think they're going to be better than predicted, but still, they've
Carolina
only predicted them to be 2
was in a good spot
games.
when Mac Brown was here. They've been in hot garbage since.
Butch Davis wasn't bad.
What changed? I don't know. I'm guessing they were probably paying players back then, and that's why they were good. That's the only thing I can think of. They haven't been good at all, and they just
they were one play away from the ACC championship game.
How many coaches? I mean, how good of a coach are you if you come to a school and they say, "Here's the parade national All-American. He runs a 4.4. He can throw it 70 yards. He's 6'4", 220," and you say, "I think he should play linebacker." No.
But you don't have that problem
And he's a 75-year-old coach that's making that decision.
Yeah, but you won't.
Yeah,
you
they're
won't
going
have
to
that problem.
suck. Go, Carolina, you're terrible. The whole thing is hot garbage. I'm tired of watching it. I'm just going off on Terry, I hope NC State beats Carolina by 50 for the
me too.
Hey, go Dogs.
It's just
Anyway.
silly how silly. All right, we got to
Go
go.
Dogs.
We're going to come back. That's leading us
Wait a
in.
minute. I got at least
We
got
got college. We're going to college football next.
I know. Okay. All right.
We'll be back. We'll be back. Remember, everybody.
But yeah, Tom,
The standard is the standard.
The standard is
the
the
standard is the standard. RS Central is number 1.
It's all right.
In the
I give up.
Shopper Power. We'll be back on KDC Broadcast.
The Cat 5 Band is coming to downtown Kings Mountain, along with CBMA winning DJs Eric Bowman and Johnny B, plus the Embers, the Party Prophets with Cindy Floyd and Gene Farr, the Blackwater Band, Band of Oz, all bringing beach music to Beach Blast 2019. Beach Blast is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, August 24th, with a kickoff concert by Too Much Sylvia Friday night, August 23rd from 7 to 10 p.m. Enjoy top names in beach music as they play in the new Patriots Park Amphitheater. It's a fun-filled day for the whole family with food, arts and crafts, contests, and more. The Fruit Carving Ninja will be on hand from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Captain Jim's Magic Show will appear from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Bo Schwantz of the Fantastic Shakers and 10-time CBMA Female Vocalist of the Year Rhonda McDaniel will make guest appearances as well. Kids will have a ball in the splash pad, giant water slide, inflatables, and more cool activities at Beach Blast 2019. Put 400 South Railroad Avenue into your GPS and spend a day at the beach in downtown Kings Mountain. For more information, call the City of Kings Mountain Special Events Department at 704-734-2051 or access the website at kingsmountainevents.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Justin Moore, who gives us an update on life with 4 kids under 10.
It's nonstop. I mean, it's never just calm and everybody's happy. It's like a ticking time bomb.
That's Justin Moore this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Drives it deep into turn 1, down to 2 truck lengths.
The NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series playoffs.
Ross Chastain has gone to the whip here at the end of this stage.
Race 2 of the playoffs takes NASCAR's truckers north of the border.
Here comes Brett Moffitt now, picking up a spot.
Where road racing always comes with a late race twist.
Final time in turn 10. He wiggles. They make contact.
The Chevrolet Silverado 250.
They both spin off turn 10.
Sunday at 2 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Chevrolet Silverado 250, Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Head coach Mac Brown returns to North Carolina for a brand new era of Tar Heel football. The Hall of Fame coach brings his national championship pedigree back to Chapel Hill as the team begins its rise to the top of the ACC.
Ball's on the deck. Carolina scoops it up and is taking it in for a touchdown.
Catch every moment all season long right here on the Tar Heel Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Isolated and alone? That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
This is Evangelist Kim Earwood with Jesus Until the Whole World Hears Radio Ministry. Join us each Sunday morning from 8 to 8:30 a.m. for worship and the Word of God on 1390 and 1590 a.m., 101.5 FM, and ktcbroadcasting.com, and live on Facebook. Also, be sure and stay tuned from 8:30 to 9 o'clock on 1390 a.m., 101.5 FM, ktcbroadcasting.com, and live on Facebook for half hour of praise and worship with Jesus Until the Whole World Hears.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're chit-chatting about something. I have no idea what. I'm just in here.
I was trying
It's football, don't worry.
Yeah,
I was
football,
talking to Terry
as
about
usual.
how North Carolina don't know what's coming to them here in a couple weeks. I got tickets.
Oh, my Lord.
And what's coming is, Terry, it's people from Boone coming.
Oh, my.
Boontown.
First of all,
Boontown takes on Chapel Hill.
the Boone Goons are coming. And if the Boone Goons beat the North Carolina Tar Heels, I don't know if Chapel Hill is aware of it or not, but we tend to throw goalposts into ponds. So y'all guys better have things on lockdown. They will come out of the stands. They will try to bring it down. They might not get it, but they will try to bring the goalpost down. Jason Saint and myself, Terry, have carried a couple of goalposts into the duck pond up in Boone. I do got a awesome picture of Jason. It actually made the paper of one of the pictures, and he was like hanging on the goalpost, and we rounded the corner, and they got him right in the corner of the picture there in the I think it was Watauga Democrat, or that might be one of those up there. I can't remember the exact paper it was in, but
They literally take the goalpost out of the game and they throw it in a lake.
right,
Yeah.
yes, every time.
Okay.
Well,
Some places have gotten it to where you can't remove the goalposts anymore, like they've got them cemented in and whatnot. But other places,
Well,
well, see, I'll give you the genesis of it. We broke a couple of them, and they got tired of buying new ones and breaking them, so they started making them with hinges on it, and the kids figured that out real quick.
Okay.
And then they started taking them down themselves, so the kids wouldn't take them down. Well, you only have so many police officers.
yeah.
They break through that.
Okay.
That line of police officers in Boone gets they're not there long, and the goalpost ends up at the lake. They might as well just plan on just having let's remove the goalpost out of the pond crew.
JP,
Yeah.
think of it on the other end. What else are they to do in Boone?
We've not only it
Go
don't
hiking.
it doesn't go straight to the pond. You take it downtown and around the block first, and then bring it back to the pond. Is where
Yes, that's why my mother, who graduated from NC State, hates East Carolina with a passion. Because one year she was there at a football game, and East Carolina came in and beat NC State, and all of East Carolina's fans rushed the field and tore down their goalposts.
Yeah, that's our goalpost.
She said, I cannot stand East
ours.
Carolina.
You know, the legislature had to make Carolina play East Carolina.
Yeah.
Carolina wouldn't play them, and the legislature tied it to their funding. Now, it seemed like North Carolina would play them, but Carolina wouldn't play them.
It's been a long time that State and Carolina and these teams wouldn't play these teams. They didn't want to give you by playing them. It's the whole you give them notoriety type thing. Right. And that's what's one thing about college football that just drives me nuts. And Terry was kind of talking about it during the break as far as how Georgia and Alabama don't play each other. And my point in college is, what's the point of having 16 teams in a conference and playing an 11-game schedule and not playing all 11 games?
Money.
But you would make more money. You make more money playing in the conference.
Because Kevin, it's not really a conference anymore. It's really two conferences
right.
It is.
together.
And it's so stupid because you have all these teams. Why does Alabama play in Duke this week when they could be playing Georgia or any of the other SEC teams in the other division?
They don't want to take an early loss.
We're going to say we're in the SEC, and that's it. Yeah. That is it more than anything. The team, because if they don't play the lower schools, you can have it's the bowl games, Tom. Mm-hmm. Because how many bowls are there? It's like 60 teams make a bowl team now. So if you don't beat, like, say, 2 or 3 underlings, you might lose a couple games. If Alabama takes a chance and loses to someone early.
And see, that's the problem though too, is Alabama is so they're built now on this championship or bust. So if they know they take an early loss, the way that the BCS is, the way that college football is set up, no one can afford one loss. Even with the playoffs.
I would sit back and when I think of that, I would say, okay, Alabama's going to play Duke. Well, you know what? If Duke beats them, big loss. That's not going to happen.
If Duke was to beat Alabama, I would take Alabama out of national championship contention for the rest of the year.
But now
there'd be no reason for me to put them in there.
But you always have to sit back and say Alabama has played Clemson. They have played Florida State. I mean, it's not like they have not played somebody that's up top tier.
This
out of the
year
ACC.
they have one good out-of-conference matchup. It's Texas A&M. Or they's in the SEC.
No,
that's
not
even it. That's not even it. I'm looking at this. They've only got – here's their – good grief. Here is their teams. Now, remember, we're talking about the state of North Carolina. Who's the two best teams in the state of North Carolina in football? It's not that great. Whoever you name, NC State, I guess, and somebody.
NC State and probably, if you go
Alabama
Appalachian
could play anybody in their conference if they wanted to, but nope, we're going to play Duke and Western Carolina.
They'll be champions in North Carolina.
Western Carolina and Duke is who Alabama, and there's going to be fans sitting there saying,
look down the schedule. Late in the year, they'll play like the Citadel.
That's Western this year.
Okay.
So they've got Duke, New Mexico State.
Okay.
And
New Mexico State. That's
who is this?
Southern Mississippi.
That's their out-of-conference game.
Did you see Southern Mississippi's percentage? 1.6% chance of winning.
I wonder how much.
But they
money.
got a chance.
Yes.
I wonder how much. I wonder how big the check's going to be. But this is what I would say. This is what I would to stop all this nonsense you're talking about. You take your Power 5 champs. All right, you guys are the 5 champs plus 3 more, 8-game playoff. We're done. And the 3 have to come from non-Power 5.
Oh, that would never happen.
That will never happen. But
that's what
I'm
you
totally
need to do.
for it.
That's what you need to do.
I'm all
for 8
teams.
Going to let that happen?
I'm all for 8 teams.
They want whatever the system will be a way for Alabama to get in without winning whatever it is.
Right.
They have to have that system. It happens every year because – go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if we didn't even just do it that way and we went with top 8, I don't care if you've won your – usually if you've won your conference, you're going to be in the top 5, especially if you're in the Power 5. If we went based off the preseason top 8 right now, you can't tell me one of these teams couldn't possibly catch Alabama missing if we played this like week to week, not giving them 2 to 3 weeks. Now it goes at 8. It would be 8-1 matchup, Florida and Clemson. Florida's on the rise. Dan Mullins has got them playing pretty good. 2 would be Alabama. This would be the matchup everybody's been wanting. It's 2, Nick Saban in Alabama, 7, Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. That would be a pretty decent matchup because even Urban Meyer said Michigan's set up to have a good year this year. It would be Georgia, LSU. That'd be an SEC matchup. Georgia and LSU play already this year, so we'll see how that would be. It would be then Oklahoma and Ohio State. Those are teams that are usually in contention for national championship anyways. So if they went to 8 teams, those 8, if that's how the year finished now, you can't tell me one of these teams would not catch Alabama or Clemson.
If you're going to do it, I think you have to win the conference because then you'll say you'll have Alabama getting in everything. Here's the thing.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but I'm just saying if it was the end like that.
Here's one quick thing that just drives me crazy again on what I was saying about with the split conferences. Why don't you play all 11 games in your conference? We will sit here and watch for the next 6 months SEC fans talk about how hard and how great their conference is. You do have to – Alabama plays an SEC schedule. Well, how hard is Alabama's SEC schedule? In their 11 games, they play a grand total of 3 ranked teams. So, of the 11 games, this goes back to Duke and basketball too.
No.
Of 11 games, Alabama has a chance to maybe lose 3 games. Now, if they lose 2, we all know they're going to the championship.
Yeah.
And
all they've got to do is not lose one game
And I'd like to point
this year,
something out as well.
Not
So
get upset one time, and they are in the championship.
So you said they have 3 ranked opponents right now.
And they play 4 out of conference. No, there's only 3 teams ranked right now, and they play 4 teams that are just hot garbage.
That's what I'm saying. Auburn at 16, that's a joke. Auburn by week 3 will be out of the top 25, and they won't see the top 25 again this year. They're without Jarrett Stidham at their quarterback. Gus Malzahn is on the brink of getting fired. They're really down to 2. And I know that's That's the rivalry game. That's the Iron Bowl game. I don't care. Auburn is going to be pitiful. I'm sorry. For as good as Auburn has been in the past, their starting quarterback that they had that was so good last year for them, Jarrett Stidham, they had a down year last year still compared to what they should have had. They're not going to be that good this year. So only give them 2 ranked games. And I'm not sorry about it. I'm not. Alabama, because see, this to me, and I don't know if it's with you guys. I've talked to my buddies about this. Are we not getting fatigued of Alabama, Clemson, part 5 coming up, maybe part 4, part 5? Are we not fatigued? Because I was the same way with the NBA. I was tired of Golden State, Cleveland, part 6 or 7 we were going to come up onto if LeBron stayed in Cleveland. I'm tired of Alabama and Clemson, and it's not just as a Georgia fan. I would like to see Oklahoma, maybe Ohio State. I'd like to see Oregon in there.
Real quick before you do that, I'll give you some quick numbers. If you only played an SEC schedule, there's only 13 other teams in the conference, so you would play 11 teams.
Yeah.
And here's why they won't do it earlier, like we said. That means you would be taking more losses. And then the teams that aren't that good in the conference wouldn't be making those extra bowl games. I'm going to go back to that in a second. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, well, as I'm sitting here and you're saying that, Hunter, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
But for one thing, North Carolina State plays Clemson. We're going to play them every year.
Yes.
You have to beat them. You want to be part of that group, you've got to beat them.
That's the truth. That's what I understand that, but that's where I'm.
Standards are the standards.
The standard is the standard.
Yeah.
You're right. You got to win, but that's where I am heavily pushing for. They have to in the next few years go to at least 8 teams, and let there be more of a chance of teams to be able to play and catch one of these guys slipping. Because what is it to give them 6 weeks before they play the Final 4, and then they play the Final 2 another 2 or 3 weeks later? Oh, come on, man! Do it like how Division II does, or the FCS, and just have a round of 16, and they just go at it. The NFL does it. What are you scared of?
Well, the major hang-up I have is just about everything else. You look at baseball. Well, you got to win your division. You look at football. You win your division, maybe plus one other team. Football's not like that. Nick Saban get beat by Alabama, not even make the SEC championship game, and still get in the national title game, that is just.
It's a joke.
That's a joke.
That's a joke.
You might say they're the best team, but it doesn't matter.
No, obviously.
Because you've seen.
They're not, because they didn't earn it.
I would argue that Boston Red Sox is going to be better than some teams that are going to make the playoffs. But guess what? They're not going to win their division, so they're not going to get in. That's the way it works. That's the way it should. A couple
other quick numbers. This is kind of my point on how they wouldn't make bowl games if they played each other, right? So right now, looking at last year, this is just SEC standings last year. There's 14 teams in the SEC. Only 6 of the 14 teams had a record in the conference over 500. 4 of those were only one game over 500 at 5-3. If you lost the game, you'd be at 4-4.
Yeah.
Only 2 teams in the whole conference was above 1 win over 500 in the conference: Alabama and Georgia. That means the rest of the conference was actually mediocre to bad.
But you know what everybody's going to tell you, though, Kevin? They're going to say, on account of we played each other, we kept beating each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But no, what I'm saying is that they're all average because they kept beating each other. Yeah. You only got 2 good teams. But according to the polls, you got 10 good teams, because listen to this. Of the 14 teams, I just said only 6 of them have a winning record in the conference. Of the 14 teams, 12 of them have an overall winning record, which means all 12 qualified for a bowl game. So if you did it in the conference, only 6 teams would be qualified for a bowl game. So you only actually have 6 good SEC teams, but based on the out-of-conference matchups with Duke and Southern Miss and Western Carolina, there's 12 SEC teams qualified. So they are fudging the number. They're doubling the number of teams that are actually good in the SEC. And this is not just SEC. It's the same thing in ACC and everywhere else. They all do it. But that's my point on playing. Don't tell me that this conference is good or this conference is good or we're in this conference, because if you play 4 out-of-conference games and 7 in-conference, you're not really playing much of a conference, are you?
Technically.
NFL teams don't play college teams. They all play NFL teams.
And there's been rumors as well, and not rumors, but it's people just saying hypothetically technically the SEC, if they really wanted to, could break away from the NCAA and just have their own conference and have their own
if
little
them and the
league.
ACC went together, they would and paid the players.
Yeah.
That would just
that would be
everything.
just as good as the XFL that's trying to come up in January, February. You'd have players getting paid a minimum wage or not a minimum wage, but for football players.
Yet? Have either one of y'all seen top 25?
I got the top 25 pulled up
you
right
have
here.
Or have not, Tom?
I have not.
Okay, Hunter's got it. We're gonna go around the room as an exercise before the next break. Let's guess without even seeing the top 25, because this is how easy it is. If we can name how many teams in the top 25. Go, Tom. We're gonna just go around the table. Just name a team.
Ohio State's in the top 25.
Just say yes or no.
Yes.
All right, Terry.
I'll just pick a team.
Yep.
Okay.
Terry, any team in the top 25.
We got to make this hard, Tom. I mean, if you just sit there and you name a team, because
we've got to name Alabama and Clemson at some point.
Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yes. I can't say it because I'm looking at it. So.
Wisconsin.
Clemson.
Wisconsin is yes. Clemson, yes.
Florida.
Yes.
Florida State.
No.
Wow.
Auburn.
Yes.
Texas A&M.
Yes.
Penn State.
Yes.
Getting a little harder now, isn't it?
Yeah, when you get towards the end, it does. I don't think they'd be in it, but I'm not going to.
Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in. For sure. LSU.
Yes.
I need a Pac-10. What about
Pac-12?
Whatever they are. I don't even know.
Who's the best?
Stanford.
Yes.
Oregon.
Yes.
Arizona State.
No.
No.
They wouldn't be.
They'll be close though.
Yeah.
I like what Herm Edwards is doing down there.
They say Kentucky's down. I was going to say Kentucky, but I just read about them. They said they lost a running back and a linebacker.
Yeah, Josh Allen, that linebacker is going to be good for Jacksonville, but they're not in it.
Yeah, they're not in it this year.
Any other guesses, boys?
Any more Big 12 teams? I don't think
we
I've
have
heard any.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
What UCLA?
UCLA, no.
No.
Trying to think. There's got to be another Pac-12. USC. You always pick two Pac-12s?
USC's not.
So
Wow, USC's not ranked this year?
No.
Wow.
So what I'm getting at, we just blindly guessed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of 15. And that's the whole NC State North Carolina argument, and you can close your eyes and know the teams. I don't even have to watch a single folks. What's funny to me is that people will watch all day college football all day, and they'll talk about it. And I can come in here on Saturday, not watch a single game, close my eyes, and pick 13 of the 15 teams, and say the exact same things that everyone else is saying about these teams, other than knowing I don't even know the players. I don't even know half the coaches, but I know who's going to win based on this stuff because they're going to play Duke and Mississippi State and Western Carolina.
You really do hate college football.
I don't like it. It's silly.
It really does.
Okay, nothing makes sense. The scheduling don't make sense. The rankings don't make sense. They don't pay the players when they earn millions. If I sell a teammate a pair of shoes that didn't fit me, I get suspended 5 games, and we have the exact same pair of shoes. We just basically switch shoes. So at no point do they do it's a professional league, but at no point do they do anything that makes sense. We sit here and argue about it every point of the game. And then the same people will say, God, I love college football. It's so great. Is it the bands? Is it just you got the dun 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 and all that stuff?
It's the pageantry.
And that's the word I was waiting for someone to
pageantry.
see. I had a roommate in college who loved college football, and all the time he said pageantry. I was like,
Pageantry?
you know what else is that a pageantry? My wife, when she was in beauty pageants in high school.
Let me tell you something. It's the
We all
pageantry.
vote, and that's the college, and that's the word.
It's
that's
the
what I wanna get
pageantry,
to.
but it's
What
also
happens
this.
at a pageant, Tom?
I
think,
and I will put this to the day I die. I always, when I watch college football games, I think the players play harder than the NFL players. They play a lot harder because they are working to get to that next level where they can get to that contract. I promise you. And you don't have the diva. You don't have the mess you got to deal with diva players in the NFL. I would take college football.
If I
over
miss a
NFL
tackle in
a
college
heartbeat.
football, I don't get a Whopper. No, I don't get my fake pizza from the cafeteria on Monday. If I miss a tackle in the NFL, I might lose my house next week because they're going to cut me. Those guys are playing really hard. Those are
when there's only 46 roster spots too, so you better play hard if you're going to keep your spot.
Listen. The kids, I ain't gonna say nothing bad about them. I have nothing to say about it. It's the organization.
Well, that's okay. Well, okay, you can. I don't like the NCAA
the playoffs. Everything that they do. There's nothing good that I can think of about college football. I can't think of a single thing.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of exaggeration. And plus, I don't think you should be criticizing anybody else's rankings after our discussion earlier. But I will say
the standard is the standard.
The standard
is the standard.
But I do think you do make some good points.
Tom, one more point before about the standings and rankings. If in the NFL we let teams choose and vote like this on who made the Final Four in the Super Bowl, Eli Manning would not have any Super Bowls.
Yeah, I know.
And Tom Brady would have 7 or 8 or whatever it was. That's the thing about the rankings. The thing, Eli Manning would never win. NC State would never win. North Carolina would never win if we allowed the Nancy Kerrigan voters to and the East Russian judges or whatever they are to come in and do it. Go ahead.
We do got to take German judges. Come on now.
we do got to take a break in just a minute. Go ahead, Tom. I know I interrupted you.
Did you want me to go over the top 25?
No, I just wanted to guess them, see if we could blind guess them. That was just kind of the point I want to make on that.
But you make it. There's a lot of things about it that aren't fair,
and I would like it if they would just make a few small adjustments.
It is hard. I remember when Chris Carter one time was talking about. He goes like, "Man, I didn't want a Ferrari. I wanted to buy a slice of pizza, but I was so broke I couldn't go to the pizza parlor." I mean, that's tough. But just considering what these guys are bringing to the school, that's a tough
sell.
As
a state fan, as an Appalachian State fan or a North Carolina Tar Heel fan, how can anyone Duke fan? How can anyone come to you and say college football is a good sport? Your team has a chance this year. I hope you guys win, because what am I going to do? Appalachian. We'll win the Poinsettia Bowl. We fought hard this year for OU, and congrats.
I like poinsettias.
You know, this year they started spending. They're now spending more money on administration and coaches than on our scholarships in college football.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's crossed it, and also. Something else about
it's a little thing called
tonight.
It's a little thing called the Gini little Gini coefficient, but I'll save that economics lesson.
Tonight's matchups: Miami versus Florida, 7 p.m. and Arizona at Hawaii, 10:30 p.m. Week 0, technically week 0, because all the other games start either Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday of next week. Saturday is chock full. I'm still scrolling.
In college football, after the game, what time after the game do the administrators get together and vote on who actually won the game? Ain't that how it works?
They don't do that until like week 7.
Ain't that how Alabama and them get in these polls? Like they vote on who won the game after the game? Because because another thing about the rankings. So you'll have a team beat a team and won't be ranked, and that team that got beat is still ranked in the top 10 or 15 or something.
Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time.
All right, here's some money numbers for you, Tom. Power 5 public recruiting spending for last year. This is the average school, how much they spent on recruiting. So what's in a recruiting cost?
Travel.
Is that you just think that's it?
Travel board, probably like food,
strippers.
Yeah, strippers.
Well, speaking of strippers, Big Ten schools spend an average of $855,000 a year on recruiting.
That's why my kid's gonna have to pay $27,000 a year to go to college, because
$855,000 Big Ten schools. I don't know if that's including the strippers or not, Hunter.
Hey, well, that's Tom Herman.
Well, speaking of strippers, that's in Louisville, right? ACC schools average $940,000 a year. Big 12, $960,000 a year. And the SEC spends $1.3 million per school on recruiting in the SEC. Now, if you want to do that in scholarships money, just split up $1.3 million divided by $20,000 maybe at Alabama. Let's see. That's 65 students that could have went to Alabama for free.
I don't think you'll learn a lot there.
Or we could pay our coaches to fly on Delta to go see football players.
Yeah, you'd probably learn how to go to the football stadium. I don't know how
65 free college tuitions, or we could buy flights for assistant coaches to go visit college football
and
players.
Strippers.
And strippers. Yeah. All right, JP. Do you have strippers in there? No? Okay, I was just
he's so mad.
It was all for early. Oh. We'll be back in a minute. KDCBroadcasting.com.
The Cat 5 Band is coming to downtown Kings Mountain, along with CBMA winning DJs Eric Bowman and Johnny B, plus the Embers, the Party Prophets with Cindy Floyd and Gene Farr, the Blackwater Band, Band of Oz, all bringing beach music to Beach Blast 2019. Beach Blast is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, August 24th, with a kickoff concert by Too Much Sylvia Friday night, August 23rd from 7 to 10 p.m. Enjoy top names in beach music as they play in the new Patriots Park Amphitheater. It's a fun-filled day for the whole family with food, arts and crafts, contests, and more. The Fruit Carving Ninja will be on hand from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Captain Jim's Magic Show will appear from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Bo Schwantz of the Fantastic Shakers and 10-time CBMA Female Vocalist of the Year Rhonda McDaniel will make guest appearances as well. Kids will have a ball in the splash pad, giant water slide, inflatables, and more cool activities at Beach Blast 2019. Put 400 South Railroad Avenue into your GPS and spend a day at the beach in downtown Kings Mountain. For more information, call the City of Kings Mountain Special Events Department at 704-734-2051 or access their website at kingsmountainevents.com. Join the boss as we broadcast live during Beach Blast 2019 in Centennial Park in downtown Kings Mountain. This Saturday, August 24th, starting at 10 a.m. Come by our booth and register to win some great prizes. Our live radio remote broadcast is being brought to you in part by West End Sales, your Bobcat dealer on Highway 18 North in Shelby, by Buildings R Us in Cherryville, Shelby, and Lincoln, by Hometown Hardware on South Railroad Avenue in downtown Kings Mountain, by Carolina Cotton Company on South Battleground Avenue in downtown Kings Mountain, by West End Sales, your Grasshopper dealer on Highway 18 North in Shelby, by Full Throttle Power Sports on Indian Walk off I-85 in Lowell, by Renato Honda at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, by Parker Farm Service, your Kubota dealer on Bessie Drive off Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain, by Trackside Trader on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, and by Uptown Girl Boutique on York Road in Kings Mountain. So come see us this Saturday, August 24th for Beach Blast 2019.
Where can you get 12-foot metal roofing for just $20 a sheet? Only at Acre Enterprises in Cherryville. It's available in many different colors too. Come in and take a look for yourself. Only $20 a sheet for 12-foot metal roofing, and they can even custom order too. Keep your vehicles out of the summer heat and winter weather with a new metal carport from Acre Enterprises of Cherryville. Fred says, come on by. That's Acre Enterprises, Cherryville, 1220 Shelby Highway, 150 West, in Cherryville, right across from Food Line.
Who are you? You're not a goat. Oh, you say you feel like a goat since you didn't buy your car from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And now you're putting up with a bunch of bull. Don't be like my friend here. You get no bull at Renato Honda and Renato Kia at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard. Don't let another dealer get your goat.
This summer, stay twice at Red Roof Inn and earn a $25 gift card with Ready Rewards. Yes, you can become a Ready Rewards member. Just register to be enrolled in the promotion through your Ready Rewards account under the promotion tab. And once you register, a guest who stays at any Red Roof Inn, Red Roof Plus, Red Collection, or Hometown Studios by Red Roof, 2 separate times from the beginning of June through the end of August will receive 6,500 points. That's enough for a $25 gift card. Offer valid June 1st through August 31st, 2019. Guests must be Ready Reward members and must be registered before checkout in order for the stay to count towards the promotion. Third-party bookings are not eligible. Must book at 1-800-RED-ROOF or www.redroof.com. Only stays occurring after the member's registration date in the Stay 2 promotion apply. So again, this summer stay twice at Red Roof Inn and earn a $25 gift card with Ready Rewards from Red Roof Inn. Make your business or office a Boss of Carolina Country listener post. All you have to do is tune your radio in your business or office to 101.5 FM, 107.5 FM, or 92.3 FM. Let us know and we'll put your name on the radio. And each month we'll have a drawing from our area listening post for a dozen breakfast biscuits from the Creekside Clock Restaurant in Shelby, along with coffee or tea. Area listening posts include Promotion Motors in Lincoln, Cherryville Signs and Graphics, Lowe's in Lincoln, Watson Carpet and Tile Lincoln, RD Mattress Cherryville, Carolina Furniture in Lincoln, Memory Lane in Krause, Davis Brothers Automotive in Lincoln, It's Your Feed in Cherryville, Deja Vu Consignments in Cherryville. So make your business or office a Boss or Carolina Country listening post today.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me for Country Gold, where we play all of your favorites from the 80s and 90s. My guest this week will be Vince Gill. He's just released a new album called Okie. We'll talk all about that, the Hall of Fame, and his touring with the Eagles. That's Vince Gill with me on Country Gold with Terry Clark.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Is it time for a new roof for your home or business? If so, call Creason Roofing of Cherryville. Creason Roofing in Cherryville will meet or beat any competitor's pricing on a new roof. That's one of the reasons why they have been serving our area for over 40 years. Steve Creason, along with his wife, son, and daughter, all work together as a family and a team. They take pride in their work and reputation. Just call 704-435-1791 or visit the website at CreasonRoofingLLC.com. Like them on Facebook, too. That's Creason Roofing of Cherryville.
Drives it deep into turn one, down to 2 truck lengths.
The NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series playoffs.
Ross Chastain has gone to the whip here at the end of this stage.
Race 2 of the playoffs takes NASCAR's truckers north of the border.
Here comes Brett Moffitt now, picking up a spot.
Where road racing always comes with a late race twist.
Final time in turn 10. He wiggles. They make contact.
The Chevrolet Silverado 250.
They both spin off turn 10.
Sunday at 2 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Chevrolet Silverado 250, Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
How would you like to win a $500 shopping spree from one of our local area merchants? Sure you would, and you can. All you have to do is register at one of our participating sponsors, including Love's Fish Box on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, Eddie's Auto Parts on East Main Street in Lincoln, Hillbilly's Barbecue and Steaks in Lowell, Basic Finance on Highway 74 East in Shelby, West End Sales Highway 18 North in Vale, at Pro Wellness Chiropractic on North Generals Boulevard in Lincoln, at LPD Farms on Highway 18 in Bellwood, and at Trackside Trader in downtown Kings Mountain. The drawing will be held on Friday, August 30th. Register to win a $500 area merchant shopping spree. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper and KTC Broadcasting.
Who are you? You're not a goat. Oh, you say you feel like a goat since you didn't buy your car from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And now you're putting up with a bunch of bull. Don't be like my friend here. You get no bull at Renato Honda and Renato Kia at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard. Don't let another dealer get your goat.
With a roster full of young superstars, the sky's the limit for the 2019 Atlanta Braves, and we'll bring you every huge moment.
Acuna running out of room on the warning track, leaping, made the catch. What a play by Acuna.
Atlanta Braves baseball, back again on the Boston Carolina Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk at KTC Broadcasting. Kevin and them are enjoying themselves, and we're back.
Good.
Yeah, you might want to turn yourself
Good
on. I can only do
everybody.
so much.
Happy breakfast, everybody. I had a chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit from Mitchem's Kitchen today. Hunter, what'd you have?
Chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Terry.
I had Terry. I'm
Cleveland Browns. Yeah.
Terry.
Just make sure everybody sees it.
Terry, will you stop it? I mean, we've been having this all morning, and you on the Cleveland Browns. Let's let him get on the field. Now, I will admit, Baker's running his mouth too much. It needs to shut up. Went out there last night, went 10 for 26. Now, granted, he didn't have Beckham, he didn't have Landry, but son, you get caught up in this jibber jabber back and forth with me, like that one guy. I can never remember his name that hates Baker Mayfield. The guy that has his own show.
Colin.
It's
I watch Colin at least every day.
Why feed the monster, Baker? That's what I'm saying. You're feeding the monster. Every time you do something stupid like shotgun a beer or say that the kid from Duke is
with that.
Yeah, you would be.
He wasn't laughing. I told him I was too because it was a shot to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, you can't do this. He was trying to one up everybody. Even Patrick Mahomes did it.
you see Tom Brady shotgunning a beer?
Oh my gosh.
Do you see?
I've
Peyton Manning
seen
shotgunning a beer?
Tom Brady drunk as a skunk at the Kentucky Derby.
I've read reports that
That's fine.
Peyton
not in public.
Peyton Manning had to settle a sexual harassment suit in college for showing his rear end and undercarriage to someone. So he's not the best one to go to
That's
that.
one thing that came out 20 years.
best-
It came out 20 years.
Yeah, because they buried it. The Mannings buried it. And people still don't know that. Peyton Manning's settled, Tom. Hundreds of thousands
Well, I mean,
of
if
dollars.
we're going to start throwing that out, then Ray Lewis killed a man.
One girl.
I mean, come on.
One girl.
Ray Lewis knows who killed a man. He didn't kill him. He knows who killed the man.
He does. He probably should have went to jail for conspiracy. But anyway, if they get caught up in this media circus, or any team that gets caught up in the media circus, it's going to work against you. And I think it did. He didn't have his major weapon. Chubb didn't play either. So 3 of your top weapons, Landry, Beckham, and Chubb, don't play. But I'm going to tell you, kid, you get caught up in this crap. You get caught up in the back and forth with these. Let's face it, these talking heads on TV are probably guys. A lot of them are guys that unathletic guys that played in the band. But, they got that mouth, and they love it when you give them something to talk about.
Well,
all right,
just don't give me
I'm
anything
going
to
to
talk
put it
about.
to you like this. The thing that makes me mad is we throw this on here, the Browns are back. My God. When's the last time the Browns were around? You got to go clean all the way back into the 1980s.
Yeah, they're back.
Before they were any good.
And they're back.
And all of a sudden they put Beckham, number 13. Well, you know what? Beckham's not going to lead you to. Eli Manning is as good a quarterback as Mayfield will ever be. And he had him.
Now that's a blasphemy statement.
Doesn't have the flash.
We'll
though.
take two.
Doesn't have. the flash.
I mean, so you got to be cocky to be one of the best in the
The
NFL.
media, but Terry, what is that the cover
is
of?
that
Sports Illustrated, who likes the flash, who likes the attention, who likes that.
Guys,
that's why the Browns are on the cover.
Guys,
that's why they're on the cover.
Just slow your roll. We're jumping from a bicycle to a Ferrari here. Do I need to read the quarterback names that the Browns have had? This is since 99.
Please don't do it.
Let's not read these names.
Don't do it.
I'm holding up for Tom just a reminder of,
hold on.
before you start complaining about your quarterback's cockiness, we can easily bring back Couch, Detmer, Peterson, Wynn, Holcomb, Garcia, McCown, Dilfer, Fry, Anderson, Quinn, Dorsey, Gradkowski, McCoy, Del Homey, Wallace, Whedon, Lewis, Campbell, Hoyer, Manziel, and Connor Shaw. Or we can complain about our quarterback shotgun in a beer at a hockey game.
Well, let me tell you something right here.
It's a baseball game.
Let's not forget, though, Terry. Last time the Browns made the playoffs, number 10 was quarterback right here. That was Derek Anderson.
Yeah.
And he made a Pro Bowl.
But, I mean, my whole deal, and that's just like when they sit here and they're predicting, and
He's
all of a
still
sudden they
playing
got
somewhere.
Browns
No, I
number
don't think
one.
he is.
I mean, I don't know where these guys
I
have
don't
watched.
think Browns are number one.
Yeah, but the heck it does not.
In
their division.
They got him in the
But I
division.
mean,
Terry, I'm going to take the magazine from you. Do I need to take that from you?
the
young
last
man?
time the Browns were any good, you got to go again back into the 1980s when they was able to beat Pittsburgh twice in one season.
I'm going to tell you and everybody, wait till week 1. Let's see what happens. You
They
can't
will
do
not
this-
beat Pittsburgh.
this-
They'll either split, but they'll not beat them
Well,
twice.
here's the thing that we're going to find out exactly how good Cleveland is in week 1 because they're playing a team that was in the playoffs last year in the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans had a winning record last year, and they're still getting better.
Tennessee's not going to be that good. They'll beat Tennessee.
Nah.
I'll give them that victory.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight, though. I'm not as against Tennessee as you might be, Terry. I think Tennessee's really good. The only thing is that they have to figure out, is it going to be Mariota if he's healthy, or are they going to run with Tannehill?
You can't go. There's your deal. You can't go into a season not knowing who your quarterback is. Now, even Cleveland knows who their quarterback is.
Yeah, they
Flashy, cocky, everything he wants to be.
And I
but they
love
know
it.
who he is.
I tell you,
love
I've
it.
seen Gilbert in the preseason. I'm telling you, that kid looked pretty good.
What
I
would
mean,
be
he
a
looked
He
pretty
was
what
in
would
good.
be a
AFL.
success- what would be
Yeah.
a successful season
Or
for
the
the Cleveland Browns,
AAF,
Terry?
yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Successful season.
Yeah, successful season for Cleveland.
Being in the playoffs.
You got to
Okay.
make the playoffs.
So
you
that's
have
all.
to.
So what? What's
to
so
make
crazy?
the
They got
With
to make the
this-
playoffs. You got to be 1 or 2 in your division.
Yeah.
With this much hype, I think it has to be you have to make the playoffs. For me, high side 9-7, low side 7-9. That's it. You
I
have
think high
to
side
stay.
11 wins. Low side, depending on injury, 6. I mean, it could go either way. It depends on, but injuries could do it all. But I mean, if they get hot, looking at their schedule,
because to me, it's almost a given 4 wins that they're going to get. They're going to beat Cincinnati twice. Cincinnati is nothing, and I think they can beat Baltimore twice.
Oh yeah, I think that too.
So
Tom,
that's 4.
Believe it or not, last night after the shows and everything, I went home and I watched the Browns-Bucks play highlights. I did not know he was 10 for 20.
26.
Watching the highlights 3 or 4 times, I said, wow, that was a good throw. Because, of course, it was only the highlights. And here's where I was being
I can say that about Haskins on some of his
Here's
throws.
what I was impressed by. And what I was thinking the whole time was Odell Beckham Jr. He was throwing his passes to places where not only could the defender not catch it, obviously his receiver couldn't catch it. So a lot of his passes, when they showed the replays and things, he was putting in places where it wasn't hitting the receivers in the chest. They had to reach out and get it. So the defender couldn't get it. So like I said, there was 3 of them. I was like, wow. But another thing I did notice about him, and everybody's talking about how short he is, and with comparing him to Drew Brees on that, watch his footwork. Baker Mayfield has excellent foot. I don't know. I ain't going to say it's the best footwork I've ever seen and all that stuff. But if you watch his footwork, he gets his feet exactly in the spot he needs to when he makes the throws. And I think that's why he's so accurate on some of those throws and puts them. And when Beckham comes in the game, I think that's what they've been doing is messing around with that.
He's taking he hasn't played 1 snap.
Who, Beckham? He don't need to. Receivers really don't need to. All right, Terry, Cowboy situation. Zeke trying to get back on the team. Maybe not. I was saying yesterday that he's trying to set the market totally for running backs into the 16 to 20 million range. Your quarterback's asking for 40, 35 to 40. Amari's going to get it, and then Jerry turned around and gave Jalen Smith a contract.
Because Jalen Smith didn't try to break the bank.
Right. He really don't have anywhere to stand to break the bank.
Can you really break Jerry Jones's bank?
No, you can't break Jerry Jones.
You cannot. But I'm just saying of a guy of Jalen Smith who knew what the Cowboys did for him, and that's what Ezekiel ought to sit back and think. Look what the NFL has done for you to keep you where you're still playing, buddy.
Well, here's the thing about the Zeke. If he plays 10 years for the Cowboys, no matter what, he won't make as much money as Dak will make in the next 3 years probably. And so that's his position is I'm the bell cow for this team. I need to be paid like I am the bell cow. Now, if he was on the Patriots, I would highly doubt he'd be holding out right this second because of the 2-year deal, because Tom Brady's the head of that team. But I think, his agent's calling a lot of this stuff too, Terry. I mean, obviously, they want as much money as possible.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't think he has any leverage at all. I would.
He's got it all.
I don't think he's got any. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott has any. I think Jerry Jones is upset that he would come to him 2 years early.
Wait a minute, Hunter, real quick. He's only getting paid $3 million.
Well, look, and I'm going to say this nicely. If I was the owner, I really don't care.
No, I know that, but
you've got a contract that we signed, and you've got to play out this contract.
I don't go nowhere.
I don't want you. Yeah,
he was forced into the contract.
Well, even still,
it's not. It's like a college scholarship. You were just given that.
Yeah, but what?
But here's the thing on Zeke. He's got the leverage because if he don't play, they're not going to be that good.
Yeah.
If he don't play,
but they don't even know that.
Let's say he loses $3 million. Nike, they're paying Kaepernick how much a year? They can easily. He can make that money. He's gonna make that. He can make that money up. So I think that's where he's.
First, Tony Pollard is not playing bad in the preseason. He's playing very well. And let's not forget, this is a running back position. The running back position is depreciated out of this world. So, and Jerry Jones knows that, and that's exactly why he doesn't want to pay Ezekiel Elliott this money.
Do I think they should cut him?
Just cut Zeke.
I would trade him. I think I would trade him.
I don't think Jerry Jones is going to do anything. Either you're going to come and play with us this year, or we're going to go on with what we got.
And see,
you cannot go nowhere else.
And I told you this last.
Why draft him fourth if you're not going to pay him? Why pick him fourth?
Here's the thing. I think Jerry Jones would have paid him when his time came up. I don't think Jerry likes the fact, and he doesn't want to set the precedent for other players to come up to him 2 years before their contract is up and say, hey, man, I want money now. He's like, look, what's the point of us even, and they've said this about NBA players forcing their way out of cities. He's like, what's the point of us having these contracts if nobody's going to hold these contracts together? They come to us 2-3 years early saying they want their their money. Well, what's the point? Now, I understand if they go out there and after 3 or 4 weeks, if Zeke decides not to come back and they lose 4 games, they're like, okay, yeah, maybe we are better. Then there you go. But as of right now, Zeke has no leverage. As of right now, he has no leverage because, I'll be honest, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd have every right to be mad because of everything that Jerry Jones has done to keep Ezekiel Elliott from being really
barred from the NFL.
Yeah, if not barred from the NFL, but as much suspension time as he could have had. I think Jerry feels like he's stabbed in the back, saying, "Look, maybe next year why?" And I don't understand why Zeke has to have it now. Salary cap goes up every year. I mean, it goes up little by little every year. There might be more money next year.
And don't
for
get
him.
me wrong, I'm more of paying Zeke the money than paying Dak.
Yes.
I'm with that 100%. Dak needs to sit back and say, I'm no better than Tom Brady, and he makes 23. That's all Dak needs. But that's not going to happen. We're going to give him more.
And what's the problem with being the second highest paid running back of all time? Oh, that sounds horrible for me. I mean, come on now. That's more money than you're making now, and you get to go out there and play football. You just get to go out there and play. Be ready for week 1. If I'm Jerry, I'm going to be honest, I don't pay him yet.
Well, my whole deal in behind this whole thing, so he sets out. Okay, you set out all year. Well, guess what? Next year, if you don't come to agreement with us, then you're going to set out again. So you're going to miss 2 whole years.
He's going to miss 2 whole years, and when his contract is up, they can franchise tag him for another 2 years, back-to-back franchise tag. So he could just sit out for 4 years
if he gets
and not make.
He'll be getting $15 million.
That's what I'm saying.
But
so
even if he sits out, he's a running back, y'all. Though think about that. That's the one thing we all miss about this. The running backs get pounded like crazy. How many carries did he have in high school for free? How many carries did Ohio State running for free? How many carries has he had? I just looked a second ago. I exited off of it. I think he's had 800 carries in the NFL in 3 years.
He can
$3 million a year.
He can want his money all he wants, but I think honestly it should have a year out, maybe over half a year out on his contract.
I understand your second contract to make that argument, but this is a forced contract on a collective bargain agreement that Zeke was not a part of.
Well, the collective bargaining agreement, they're having the discussions on the CBA next year. So
they're talking about a strike next year, which I fully expect a strike next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already started talking about that. Actually,
and a lot of it's going to be over preseason games as well.
All right, so Cam Newton hurt the other night. Says avoiding a sack, mid-foot sprain. I don't know if it has something to do with a previous injury. It's probably an issue. If it
is it on the left foot that he had surgery on?
I don't know, dude.
He had surgery, I think, a year ago. Or
I don't
something.
think they didn't mention it. In the paper. It said that it was just a mild sprain. X-rays negative, so there's nothing.
If I'm not mistaken, the team trainer said if it was a regular season game, he would have been out there after just sitting out a play.
I think they need to cut to preseason. Like a lot of these teams do joint practices like before the preseason game. So just cut out the preseason. Let them do some more joint practices.
Did you see the debacle that went down in Winnipeg?
Yeah, it was an 80-yard field.
80-yard field. That's a joke. That's a joke.
What I'm saying is just let them do some joint practices. You know, Cleveland go over there like they did with Indianapolis.
And maybe add 2 more regular season games.
I wouldn't even do that. Let them play 2 preseason games and let them play their 16 games, and that's it. These guys aren't getting baseball money. They're not getting basketball money. I wouldn't ask them to play.
None of them. And then what I found out, I didn't realize this, but none of them get paid for preseason games either. None of them. It's per diem.
Per diem. It's just not. I guess that's an inside joke.
None of the players get paid, but but the stadiums and the owners get the money when they play. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, you want to cut out the preseason games, fans just stop going. Just don't go, and that's going to be a waste of money.
Right, so you only got 2 weeks. Cam's obviously not going to play again. Shoulder surgery.
Be ready
he's
playing by week 1.
He'll be ready week 1.
He's not going to play again in the preseason.
Yeah. So Cam hurt last year, didn't finish the season, couldn't throw it deep. Spent all off season 3 or 4 months he didn't throw it all. He's only played 1 series, 2 series in the preseason tops. He's coming off injuries. I mean, if you're another team, week 1 he's got the Rams coming into town.
That could get ugly.
I think it's going to get really ugly.
Yeah, I'm not sure where. I've seen a lot of some mixed results on fans' opinions online. Now, I'm going to say this about Carolina fans, and we talked about this a couple weeks. No fan base thinks their team is going to win the Super Bowl more every single year than the Panthers fans, no matter what.
Maybe Cowboys fans.
That too. There's some silly ones of those too. But
New England can make a case.
You cannot find before the season starts. You cannot find a Panthers fan that'll say we're going to be bad. Every single year, you will never ever in the history of the franchise they'll say we're going to be bad.
But they'll run out on their team
about week 5. If they start losing, you'll see the upper deck start emptying out, and then it'll trickle down through that. But for the off season, the first 5 to 8 weeks, no team thinks they're winning the Super Bowl.
To me, I think it makes it makes a truer fan for you to be able to admit when your team is going to be bad and not have the horse blinds on and think, okay,
like what's this?
We're only going to be we're going to win every game.
Like we had 5 Panthers fans pick the Panthers to win the Super Bowl in our poll. All 5 of them. Not like one guy be like, we might only make it to the second round, or we might even make the playoffs. All 5 pick them to win the whole thing. Hunter, how far are the Redskins going this year?
Dude, we ain't going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, we can't even decide who's starting week 1.
Haskins, you gotta.
I would think I'd start Haskins, but that's me personally. Jay Gruden to me is an idiot, and I should be the head coach. But
I might agree with the first part. I don't know about the second.
He's the idiot part. Yeah, but me being the head coach, I agree. That's a little bit of a stretch, but still, So as a true fan, I could sit here and tell you, I don't think in the Sports Illustrated they said we would finish last. I think we would finish 3rd, but I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to try and compete for a Super Bowl. Heck no, we're far from it.
So, all right, well, let's wrap up the show with that. I do NASCAR this weekend on KTC Broadcasting. Saturday today we've got qualifying in the Xfinity Series. Is at 11:40. The C-Tech manufacturer 180 Xfinity Series at 3:00 today. Qualifying for the Truck Series is tomorrow, and I guess we don't have no racing this weekend.
No, it's truck race tomorrow.
Truck racing tomorrow.
Sure
so
is.
no NASCAR racing this weekend here on the Monster Energy Series. We do have NASCAR racing.
What about Braves baseball?
Do have Braves baseball. Folks, enjoy the weekend. Tonight we will have on WLN, Hunter, Parkwood, and North Lincoln, right?
Yes, I will be down there.
We don't know who's helping Hunter yet.
Ken. I thought it was Ken.
Ken can't go now either.
Oh.
So it's either me or Jason.
Okay.
So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But tonight, folks, WLON, North Lincoln, and Parkwood will be on the radio on WLON. Monday
they want to switch that to be at North Lincoln.
That
would be really nice.
We would Monday we will not have the coverage of Lincoln and Stuart Kramer picked up in the 3rd quarter, but we will do that tonight. We've got Braves baseball during the week. Wednesday's show, Tim, Ken, Demery, Will Boykins, and they have all the coaches over there in the SD7 call in and talk a little bit. They have some fun over there. Next Thursday, we started a little live broadcast. Addison Johnson's working on one with his guys, doing some fantasy football talk in the studios on Thursdays. They haven't come up with their name yet and everything. They're still working on that, but they came in this Thursday and did their first show. You guys can check them out and see kind of whether they pretty much all they did was pretty much fantasy football Thursday. So if you guys can watch that, go to KDC Broadcasting YouTube page. You can watch that. Right now it's just called Thursday Sports Talk on there. Don't have anything fancy. Next week, high school football again. The pregame show 5:30 to 7. Watch live online. Postgame show 10 to 12. Watch live online and listen on all 3 stations. Our games next week, guys: South Point at Lincoln on the radio. We've got Cherryville at Chase on the radio. Over in Cleveland County on YouTube, we'll have Burns hosting Asheville, Shelby hosting AC Reynolds, Crest hosting TC Roberson.
Who's on WHS?
And Kings Mountain at Monroe. I am not sure about that one at this time, Tom. I was sitting there thinking about that.
A lot of good matchups, so I mean, it's hard to decide.
We usually put the away game on the radio.
That makes sense.
With all 3 teams in the home, 3 of the teams are at home and Kings Mountain's on the road, but Kings Mountain folks can't quite hear the station signal so much, right. So it'll probably either be Shelby or Crest. We may be switching back and forth next week more than we did this week with our matchups. You guys, Shelby was pretty much on the radio the whole night because we didn't have video, so we didn't switch to the Crest game till late. Wasn't missing too much, Terry, in that. But other than that, those are our games next week. We've got 6 games on KTC. 4 of them. 3 of them are on video. We're waiting to hear back from Monroe to see if we can get on video on that. We've done it down there before. That doesn't mean we can't again. Things change.
Yes.
And so on. So we will just stay tuned. Today, like I said, NASCAR, and then we've got Hunter Yancey, at least by himself, maybe. KTC down at Parkwood for North Lincoln and Parkwood. Hunter, worst comes worst, I'll be down there with you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Mitchem's Kitchen, Saturday Sports Talk, breakfast. And we'll see you guys. WhatsAppShopper.com came out this week. The paper, pick that up. It's got football schedules for all the counties, a couple of rankings, and some matchups and fun stuff as well. All right, guys. It's even got our poll we voted on, Terry. We put that in the paper, too, believe it or not.
Whew.
That's going to age unwell. All right, we'll be back next week. JP, you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be back next week on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Who are you? You're not a goat. Oh, you say you feel like a goat since you didn't buy your car from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And now you're putting up with a